up, fight fans? We are live on MMA Weekly right here tonight. We're in Miami, Florida. We're in Arizona. We're in Kentucky. Wherever you are, welcome aboard our live coverage of, yes, these words are about to leave my mouth, Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul, the greatest boxer of our lifetime against one of the greatest YouTubers of our lifetime. I'm Jim Greasehopper, call me Grease. There's Jeff Kane. Jeff, I sound snarky, I sound snotty, I sound all the above, I sound pissy. I'm not really pissy, but I am snarky. I am very, I would say, skeptical of this whole thing, but they're selling a ton of pay-per-views. They're packing the stadium in Miami, which is, I don't know who decided to do an outdoor show in Miami in the summertime. I lived there for 12 years. They should have called and asked. I'd have told them. But, Jeff Kane, we do have a pretty good fight card underway tonight. Some good fights on the undercard. And now we have the spectacle that we've all been waiting for. Floyd Mayweather Jr. against Logan Paul in an exhibition with no judges, no winner, but you can be knocked out. Well, not us. They can. Not bad, right? I mean, who doesn't want to see Logan Paul or Floyd Mayweather get knocked out? Either way, everyone wins.
Yeah, Logan Paul just entered the ring. So yeah, we're at the main event. Yeah, it's an exhibition bout, unsanctioned. Doesn't really mean anything except selling pay-per-views. There's really no winner. It doesn't affect Floyd's perfect record. But yeah, man, we're here to watch Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul fight, or try to. We'll see what happens.
What I'm wondering, Jeff, is does Floyd Mayweather need the money? We've seen all kinds of people, from Allen Iverson to Mike Tyson, and all these people go broke. And as much money as Floyd Mayweather's made, is he just addicted to making money? Is he just addicted to being in the limelight? Or does he need the cash? I'm wondering, is he at the point where he's doing something like this because he needs the cash? And if that were the case, I wish we could all have something like that if we need the cash. But, you know, enough ripping on it. We're here, we're live, we're doing the show, at least for me. I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to look at it from as objective a standpoint as I possibly can. And that is what you said, man. You said it perfectly. This is an exhibition. I'm not going into it expecting great boxing. I'm not going into it expecting, this is Muhammad Ali versus Gorilla Monsoon. This is Joey Buttafuoco versus Tanya Harding. This is Jose Canseco against anyone. This is not, a fight that you're looking at. And if you're looking at it as a fight fan, you say, I'm going to analyze this as a fight and I'm going to approach it like it's a real boxing match. That's when you're going to be disappointed. If you know you're going out with the ugly girl, don't be surprised when you show up and she's ugly. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a non-sanctioned fight. There's no winner unless there's a knockout, and so there's no judges, and so it really is just for pure entertainment. That's what Floyd says. And look, I can't speculate on what Floyd's finances are. I wouldn't think Floyd needs the money. This just fell in his lap. You get $150 million just fall in your lap on something as easy as fighting a guy who's 0-1 in boxing. If you're Floyd Mayweather, I'd jump all over that shit. I don't care how old I am. I don't care if you got to wheel me out of the hospital room, get me out of hospice or something. I'm taking that fight.
Is this Lil Wayne again? No. Who is this walking him out? I can't tell. I'm old and I don't know this rapper. Who is it?
Hell, I don't know. I'm not looking.
He's had Weezy walk him out before. He's had the Burger King man. What does he have on the chain? I can't tell who this is, but Floyd Mayweather knows how to make an entrance. He's 35 pounds lighter than Logan Paul. And, obviously Leonard Ellerby was quoted as saying this, Jeff, Floyd's manager. Of course, Floyd knows anything can happen in this fight. He's a much bigger fighter. He's got a lot of power. And Floyd knows the spectacle, and he knows that the internet would break. So to me, the only two stories here, there is a ton of stories, but the only two stories I really care about, and check them all out on MMA Weekly. Our guys have done an awesome job, led by Jeff and Hunter. And, we have Scott in Miami. Great footage, great videos all week long. We're on it like we always are. But the only two storylines I'm really paying attention to tonight are simple. One is, it's fucking amazing that Logan Paul could do this and talk his way into a fight with the greatest boxer of our amazing that he's able to do that. It just shows you the power of social media and the power of digital media in the world we live in right now. So that's the biggest story to me. How a YouTube kid from Ohio can talk himself into a fight with Floyd Mayweather when he's already lost a fight. You know what I mean? So that's number one. And then number two is a what if. The what if Floyd Mayweather gets knocked out by this kid? Because Floyd Mayweather will never live it down. He will never be able to go anywhere or do anything again for the rest of his life. He will never be called the greatest boxer of all time. He will never be called undefeated. He will lose every single thing that he has built up.
To who? Floyd's retired from
To
boxing. He retired with a 50. He retired with a 50-0 record. You know,
if he gets
no
knocked
matter
out
what
by
happens
Logan Paul,
tonight.
Jeff, no one's going to remember that.
Well, I thought that this was an exhibition bout.
Yes, it is, but still, if he gets knocked out by Logan Paul, you know what I'm saying? If he gets knocked out by Logan Paul, he's never going to live that down. That's something that stays with you forever. No one's going to remember that it was an exhibition. Boxing fans, maybe, but there are no boxing fans, hardly.
Oh, I'll remember it. Look, if that lightning strikes tonight, which is highly unlikely, but hell, it can. There's just going to be a rematch. Floyd's going to train for it, and then that's going to be the end of that. Look, this is an easy fight for Floyd. You know, just hit this kid in the body who is going to overextend. You're the smaller, quicker guy. Make him chase you around, throw his power shots, and then in the third round, put him to sleep. That's easy. For Logan, he's going to have to hit a ghost. He's going to have to land on somebody that no one's been able to land that big shot on. You know, people have been able to hit Floyd, but they haven't been able to put him away. It's hard to land one shot, more or less the follow-up. I just think that if that lightning strikes, man, they'll just do it again. And except that time, they'll actually be sanctioned, and it'll make more money.
Yeah, that's a good point. And he would never not take the rematch. It's a place to see and be seen. And we got the chat room going crazy right now, Jeff. It's going to be a good night for us here on MMA Weekly. Roll call, people. Where are you from? We just hit 600K on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, smash that bell, and be here and be ready when we tell you that we're coming live, because we're changing the game on MMA Weekly, and we're having a great time doing it. 600K on YouTube, over 600 on Facebook, Jeff. We're going to have a big, big night tonight. You know how I can tell we're going to have a big night? When the chat is going faster than a Ferrari that Mayweather's going to buy with the money that he's making tonight. Or is he going to buy another Rolls Royce? What do you think? Another black Ferrari or another black Rolls Royce? Because he has like 21 of each of them.
I don't know. He'll probably go for another yacht. He keeps talking about yachts this week, but he is in Miami, you know, so maybe he just sees them and is like, man, maybe I want an upgrade. You know, who knows what Floyd's going to buy? What's Jake Paul going to buy with his just under 20 million he's going to make? Or I'm sorry, Logan Paul. Excuse me on that. Logan Paul, you know, what's he going to buy with that big payday?
You know what's really cool about what Logan Paul and Jake Paul are doing? And you saw the stuff that I put out this week on MMA Weekly's Instagram and Facebook about Captain Eric Albaicin, Henry Cejudo's coach, Paulo Costa's coach, and the Pitbull brothers and Leandro Ego. I've got an interview with Leandro coming up as well. But he said the Pitbull brothers and the Paul brothers should unite. He said everybody is talking trash about Jake and Logan Paul, myself included, because they're quote unquote, whatever they're doing. They're putting a black eye on the sport. They're staining the game, whatever you do. But what they're really doing, if you listen to them, Jeff, they're trying to shine the light on the lack of fighter pay. Every other quote out of their mouths is talking about how little fighters get paid. And now Tyron Woodley's going to make more than he's ever made. And day in and day out, people are making more than they've ever made on these guys, Logan and Jake Paul. So they're coming into an event, and I've seen like 4 crowd shots already as I watch the pay-per-view here. And you know what I see that I don't see at regular boxing matches, that I don't see in Las Vegas for the fights? You know what I'm seeing right now? Young people. Boxing has no young fans. Boxing lost to the UFC and MMA, not because boxing isn't great, not because boxing doesn't have a lot of fans. Boxing's fans got old, and they never made the sport young again. You got guys like Teofimo Lopez. You got guys like Garcia. You got some great young fighters coming up. Canelo's at his peak right now, you know, and Teofimo just beat Lomachenko. So when you have great boxers in the heavyweight division starting to get interesting-ish again with Joshua and Wilder and Fury and all these guys, you know, it is an interesting sport. It is a great sport, but so many promotions, so many belts. The best fighters never fought each other. Dana came in, capitalized on all that. Here comes the UFC. But the UFC's fan base from day one, because of the Ultimate Fighter show on Spike, because of all the social media, the UFC crushed Twitter before anybody else. Now they're all up on TikTok doing that better than everyone else does. So the young fans that the UFC has, a lot of those young fans are also Jake and Logan Paul fans. So you're seeing a younger crowd, and that really helps boxing, because you did have, you know, you had a Badu Jack fight on this card. There was some good boxing here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look at the numbers. I mean, the UFC fan base when the Ultimate Fighter came out was 18 to 35. That fan base is 20 years older, now basically. And so I don't think that MMA's rise had nothing to do with boxing's demise or boxing's decline. Boxing was well on the decline before Spike TV every year aired the first episode of The Ultimate Fighter. I don't think that the two sports were ever in competition with each other until maybe now, with these kind of things. Uh, but right now, we this isn't UFC. This isn't UFC versus boxing or MMA versus boxing. This is a YouTube star who's getting ready to fight the best fighter of our lifetime. Because look, they can say they want to expose fighter pay. They're not paying anybody. Listen, what are these people on these undercards getting paid? What were the fighters on the undercard of Triller getting paid? So talk is freaking cheap. First of all, they're saying fighter pay in MMA because it's an attack on MMA. That's the angle that they got.
Yep.
Well, we can sit over here and do this and make more money than you guys can. Well, yeah, okay, I mean, what the hell does that have to do with fighting? I don't know what the message Jake and Logan Paul and boxing's trying to send the MMA community. Don't learn all those techniques. Don't become a specialist in arts. Just put up a ring in your side yard, start a YouTube channel, and bang. I don't know what the message is.
What does Ryan say about all this? Your son. I'm curious because my kids love Logan and Jake Paul. They don't love them as much as they used to when they were little. They had tons of fans who were little kids on Vine, came over to YouTube and other forms of social media. But what does your son say about this? Is he into it? Does he care?
No, I mean, he'll if Logan wins, he'll probably send me a text and say, "What? That guy wins." Ryan, I mean, like whenever Chris Weidman broke his leg, the next morning he was just like, "I heard one of the fighters broke their leg," and I was like, "Yeah, Chris Weidman." But he's just not into fighting that much. He doesn't follow it. But yeah, if Logan Paul wins, and he's not one of those YouTube, he plays games and he rides a scooter and does all that. He doesn't get too caught up into the YouTube personalities. But he will absolutely know. He knows who Logan Paul is. He knows who Jake Paul is. He thinks that this is kind of crazy. He thinks Floyd should kick his ass, but he also knows that Logan's a lot bigger and a lot younger. He kind of calls Floyd the old man. He's like, this is, the Logan Paul versus the old man. That's how he looks at it. And I'm laughing because if he thinks Floyd's old, my God, what does he think about me?
Well, you're in that same category, Jeff. You're not that much older than Floyd, though. What are you, 47? Floyd's what, 44?
No, I'm the same age as you, Jim. Whenever you asked me and I said I was 48 and you turned 49, I was not counting the pandemic year as ever existing. I just skipped over it. I didn't have a birthday, basically.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I actually believed it for a minute.
And Floyd is legitimately looking old right now. He's starting to look more and more like his pops every day, which, of course, he's his dad. And I've had a lot of fun with Floyd Sr. over the years. And before you guys just think I'm a boxing hater, Jeff is always the guy who sticks up for the purity of the sport. He's always the guy who, he doesn't tell me to shut up, but when I start rambling on about how this is a joke and Floyd will never live it down, Jeff's not all about that hyperbole that I am. And I like ride that wave and this is an outrage. And, but at the end of the day, people are getting paid. People are putting food on the table. All the ushers, all the vendors, all the sponsors, all the people who are there, everybody's making money tonight. But look at Floyd. Look at him, man. He had that beard. He finally shaved it, but he was not looking so good for a while. Looks a little bit more like Floyd, but he kept that baby face for so long. You wondered if he was ever going to age, pretty boy Floyd.
Yeah, I mean, Floyd's taking care of himself. He's not taking a lot of damage. He lives healthy. He likes money, but you don't see him out there partying a hell of a lot. Floyd's taking care of himself, and he's probably going to get more of these paydays. Jim, this seems to be. I mean, if I'm going to give Jake and Logan Paul credit for one thing, it's kind of turning not just combat sports, but maybe sports on its head. I mean, are we willing to pay more to see average people compete who are famous than the top athletes in the world? We're in a weird time right now. And I don't know the answer to that. But we're going to see tonight if Logan can pull an absolute miracle. But we'll see. I mean, Logan's a lot bigger, man. If Logan lands a shot, He keep. I mean, I think that we would all be crazy not to think he could put Floyd to sleep. Floyd is not a knockout artist, never has been in his career. He's going to methodically chop Logan Paul down, dance around, stay away from him, make him miss, do what he does, and then finish him whenever Logan finally gets tired. But Logan's a big kid, man. I mean, he's not a little guy. If he hits you, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, and he's 35 pounds heavier than Floyd. And what was it, Jeff? What was it? 189 and a half that he weighed in at, Logan?
Yeah. And I think Floyd weighed in at 155 even.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, if you're watching us, there are issues with the pay-per-view. How come no one can put on a pay-per-view event anymore? I mean, we've been doing it for 100 years. ESPN crashed during McGregor and Poirier, and we couldn't get on. Now it's like
the streaming.
You think that it's the streaming, but the inexact science of it, it's not working right now.
No, I mean, sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. But yeah, I agree with you. In a lot of big sporting events, the streaming either is choppy, lags, or cuts out completely altogether.
Yeah.
They've started the fight, and looking at it, I mean, Logan is so much bigger than Floyd. That's what I'm left with right now. Logan Paul is huge compared to Floyd in there.
What's the did the first round actually start yet?
Yeah, yes. First round has started. It's at the very beginning of it. We got, we're like 30 seconds in or so. They're not doing much. Floyd's standing in front of him with his hands high. Paul, I think, is just trying to not, look, if I'm Logan Paul right now, you got the butterflies, you've got everything. I don't care what he says. Right now, it's got to be kind of surreal. This is actually happening. And so he probably has that inner monologue to don't overextend yourself. Don't waste a bunch of energy right now. Don't get an adrenaline dump. But he looks like he's taking his time, to be honest with you. He's just trying to throw shots from the outside, little jabs and little shots to the body. He's not overextending, which is kind of a shock to me.
Yeah, what's interesting, too, is when you think about what Floyd Mayweather does in every fight, he wears you down and then he beats you when you're tired. He did it to Conor McGregor. He wasn't going to let Conor knock him out early, and he knew that was Conor's biggest chance to win. I won't say his only chance, but it was his biggest chance to win, right? He's not going to let you do that. He's not going to let Logan Paul near him to land a big shot early in this fight. And I would think, given Logan Paul's got so much muscle, it's Miami, it's humid, you're not training at elevation, you're losing fluid so rapid. I lived in Miami for 12 years, man. You're sweating like a pig right now. And you are literally adrenaline dumping on top of it, And so the adrenaline dump, the fluids, the whole thing, looking across and seeing it's Floyd Mayweather, the nerves, all those things, Jeff, when I think of Logan Paul being big and muscular like that, those are the guys who gas out the fastest, and the little guys go forever. And I see this fight as a battle of attrition. I think Floyd's just going to wear him down or let him wear himself out and then finish him. That's just exactly what he did to Conor.
Well, right now in the first round, it looks like Floyd's doing what he does. He's letting Paul kind of move forward, chase him around. Actually, and a lot of times Floyd has his hands down. Try to, how he does. It's a veteran boxer. He gets you to commit. He gets you to waste the energy on the punches that they're going to miss. And then he landed a little counter shot. Paul loaded up on a right hand, and Mayweather easily ducked under it. And so I feel like right in the early part of the round, Mayweather's a showman. He knows that this is an exhibition bout. He knows this is a big pay-per-view. The last thing he wants to do is get knocked out in the first round, but he also wants Paul to kind of put on a little bit of a show before he starts being the pugilist that he is.
I love the word pugilist. This is what I'm getting. I think a lot of you.
Hold on, Logan's unloading on him right now, and he's Mayweather's covered up. That was the end of the round. Like the last 10 seconds of the round, Logan Paul flurried. Floyd just covered up. He hit him with a lot of shots. I don't know how many got through, but there was definitely a couple to the the back part of the head. We'll see. It looks like Floyd was fine. He walked back to his corner and everything. But maybe
Logan better be careful,
strategy.
Man. That's why he lost to KSI, because he was hitting him in the back of the head, right? Isn't that how he had that one loss to the other YouTuber, KSI?
No, he had. I don't know if there was a point taken away for that. He actually fought. He actually fought KSI twice. The second was a split decision, and then the first one it went to a draw, but that was an amateur bout. But I don't know if he was deducted a point for hitting him in the back of the head or what happened, or if the fight was stopped and it went to the scorecards. I have no idea. I didn't watch that. I didn't know who Logan Paul was until Jake Paul fought on the Mike Tyson card, and somebody brought up Jake Paul's on his card, and I was like, "Who the hell's Jake Paul?" And then they tell me, and then apparently he has a brother named Logan, and that's whenever I found out who the hell Logan Paul was. So I didn't know.
Insert boomer jokes here in the chat, guy.
Yeah, I didn't know about it. I didn't know who KSI was either. To be honest with you.
I was calling him KSW as recently as last week. But, I think that they've done really well with this. Again, I just want to say it. The fact that Jake Paul can fight Nate Robinson on the Roy Jones, Mike Tyson card, the fact that Jake Paul can fight Ben Askren, the fact that Jake Paul now has a fight with Tyron Woodley, all three of those together are 1/100th of Logan Paul getting a fight against Floyd Mayweather. Jake Paul, you got some splaining to do. You got to step up your game. Your brother's killing you, man. He got a fight against Floyd Mayweather, Jeff. Think about that for 1 second. Did you ever think in a million years that anyone who's not a legitimate athlete would ever be able to participate in a sport? This is like someone saying, hey, I'm a big social media star. Put me in the lineup, New York Knicks. Well, maybe the Knicks would be better. They charge their fans $70 million a ticket for the playoffs, and they lose in 5 in the opening round to Atlanta. And now Atlanta is they won game 1 against Philadelphia too. But when I look at these kids being able, can you imagine, like, hey man, I got a few million followers. I want to play for the Sixers. I got a few million followers. I want to bat third for the Yankees and play left field. I got 100 million followers. Maybe I think I should, you know what I want to do? Yeah, man, Tom Brady, you're sitting this week. This YouTube kid's starting for you. I mean, where does the line get drawn? Where does the line get drawn? Are you going to see a Grand Slam tennis event with a YouTube star? Are you going to see a golf event? I would think maybe in golf, especially something like the Senior Tour, they're infiltrating now. So the influence and the reach, Jeff, are now becoming, because in America we worship the god of money, the money is coming before the integrity of the sport. So they're calling it an exhibition, but it's the greatest fighter of our generation, arguably, Floyd Mayweather, against a YouTube star. That story in and of itself is so freaking mind-blowing. Like, I had to sit down when this was first announced and think to myself, wow, Mayweather's fighting a YouTube kid. Mayweather's fighting a YouTube. It still doesn't seem real, but it is. They're fighting right now. And I mean, I just think that's amazing that these guys are able to do that.
Well, I mean, in all of the examples that you gave, it can't happen because those are actual professional sports. This is an exhibition bout for multiple reasons, right? There's no sanctioning body that can sanction a fight with this much weight disparity unless they're heavyweights. There's no sanctioning body that can sanction a 50-0 fighter against an 0-1 fighter. And like I said, there's other things that go on. I mean, I have tons of questions about this not being sanctioned. Were they drug tested? I mean, tons of things that why a commission is there. What a commission's there for. And the only thing the commission was involved with in this basically is appointing the referee. And so I don't really know what goes on. I don't like exhibition bouts, and non-sanctioned bouts. But this is for entertainment. I mean, that's what it is.
Floyd's just playing with him. I finally got the fight, Jeff. Floyd's not. He's just playing with him.
No, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Floyd's letting him throw some punches. Let's put it that way. Floyd's letting him touch him a little bit, but nothing crazy. But yeah, I don't think this fight. I mean, I don't know. I think it says a lot about us as a society on what we consider entertainment. But I think that it's just that maybe people. I mean, these are just like these crazy opposites, these polar opposites, right? Where we've got a YouTube kid going up against a boxer, and maybe we just like those freak show matchups, man. I don't know.
All they're doing is clenching and hugging it out. That's all they're doing, clenching and hugging it out.
The first 2 rounds, Paul was chasing him around and trying. And look, Floyd's got to be careful with that big uppercut and ducking like that. And
that uppercut, there. He just missed him twice, barely. But it'd be interesting if Mayweather even gets hurt in this fight.
No, but you get hit with that thing. I mean, Paul threw that from, I don't know. He threw it from Orlando, and it missed. But if that hits Mayweather, that's gonna do some damage. Luckily, he telegraphs. He loads up, and so I think that Floyd sees everything coming.
Floyd literally is just, doing what Floyd does. Like you said, it's trying to hit a ghost. It's literally, you couldn't hit that guy in a phone booth, Jeff. For most of his career, he couldn't hit him in a phone booth, and that's why he's so good. And he's 2 steps ahead of you mentally. People talk about Mayweather in so many different ways. He's a little crazy. He's throwing cash around. He's had some trouble with the law and with women and things like that in his life. He's had some issues throughout the course of his life. But the 2 things about Mayweather that are never really, of course, people talk about the money. He's brilliant. He bought himself out of the contract with Bob Arum for pennies and made himself $1 billion, literally. And secondly, he is maybe the smartest fighter of our generation. He's up there. I'm not saying he is the smartest, I said maybe, but he is so smart and so good at the chess match of boxing. It is a science, the sweet science. Floyd is better at that than almost anyone. His mental game, his sharpness, his planning, his preparation, his execution is flawless. He really only had one fight that he could have lost in his whole career. If you think about that, one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Floyd is. Yeah, I mean, definitely Floyd's a very intelligent fighter. He knows when to clinch. He knows when to exchange, and you know he uses his attributes really well. He has speed. He can get in and out. He's not a knockout guy, so he worked on his cardio, and he becomes this guy that wears out his opponents. He's smart that he understood his best attributes early in his career, or at least his coaches did, or his dad did. You know, and Floyd has catered his entire career kind of around his specific skill set. Floyd doesn't. I don't know, man. Some of these Jake Paul punches are getting a little closer than I like them to. I'll say that.
Oh, mine crashed again. I lost it again.
Yeah, I mean, Floyd's just walking forward and letting Paul hit him, but unless he feels Paul has tired and the punches don't have the zip on them, don't have the snap, maybe that's what it is. But Floyd seems to not care right now if he gets hit by Jake or Logan Paul. I apologize if I say Jake. Logan Paul. It doesn't look like he cares too much right now. It's the end of is that round 2? And as I say that, Jake Paul is on camera.
Yeah, Jake. I mean, these guys are, they're always there for one another, cheering each other on and that sort of thing. And, here it is. I got it back up. I mean, it looks good. That right came pretty close, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It came closer than I was comfortable with, right? I mean, that made me flinch a little bit, rather. But Floyd's so fast. He beat him to the punch. That's what Floyd's realizing now is on the inside, Logan loads up and he's able to land the short shot before Logan can get his off. Well, look, Floyd picks everybody apart. I mean, I didn't expect him not to pick Logan Paul apart. I just wondered where Floyd was now. Had he been training? How good a shape is Floyd still in? Has Father Time slowed him down some? He looks good though right now.
Yeah, and you just wonder if Floyd Mayweather will ever slow down, man. It's awesome watching him and seeing him do his thing. I mean, he's clearly, Jeff, one of the greatest of all time. He's making it. How much is he making for this fight? How much do we know?
I read 120. I read 120 million, and Logan was making 18.
God. Oh my God! Wow. Well, now we know the 120 million reasons why this fight is happening, or 138 million if you think about it between the two.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that maybe this is a warm-up fight.
Floyd's pocket.
Yeah, I think maybe this is a warm-up fight for Floyd to rematch McGregor too. Anyway, depending on what happens with McGregor and Poirier. If McGregor loses to Poirier, you very well might see him. Logan landed a hard right hand right there. All right, Floyd looked like he took it well, but that was a hard right hand that he landed in an exchange.
Logan Paul does hit pretty hard. And, these guys have a chance if they keep competing and they find levels of competition that are, at their level as they move along in their boxing careers and they're serious about this. They can make a lot of money and put on some good fights. You know what I mean? Jake Paul said it. He said, I haven't even been tested yet. Well, Woodley's going to test him. Tyron Woodley's going to test him. That's for sure.
I mean, Woodley should. Woodley should test him. I mean, that's for sure. And then right here, like Logan's mindset heading into this when they interviewed and all during the week, he's got nothing to lose, and of course he's got nothing to lose. He's already won, right? He's into the 4th round of 8 rounds with Floyd Mayweather, and he's going to bag $20 million or close to it.
Man, that'll you know what I mean? That's good for him. I talked about that before. That's a huge story. This is one of the biggest sports stories of my lifetime. It really is that a kid can do this, and there's two of them. So, but again, Nate Robinson, Ben Askren, Woodley, all three of them nowhere near the level of Mayweather. So for Logan Paul to be able to do this, there truly is no limit. And Captain Eric, all about a scene, and you'll see the interview on MMA Weekly's YouTube this week. But he said to me, he said, when we hung out with them, and I remember running into them, it was Logan Paul and Paulo Costa and Captain Eric and Henry Cejudo, all those guys. It was in Vegas after one of the fights. I can't remember. It was after one of the fights. We were in the lobby of the Park MGM across from T-Mobile Arena. And I remember because I called my daughter. I'm like, hey, man, you mind if I take a quick, put you on FaceTime with my daughter? My daughter about fell down. She's like, oh, you're with Logan Paul. No way. Like, she freaked. She called all her friends. They TikToked about it. They IG'd about it. They did everything. And they were the most excited people in the world. And every single person who was going up to Logan Paul and saying hello was female, young, beautiful. Every single one. So you're bringing the female audience in on this for sure with Logan Paul. You're bringing in the younger audience with social media. And by putting in, this is where Floyd Mayweather, see, Floyd Mayweather is 5 steps ahead of all of us all the time when it comes to business, okay? Floyd Mayweather, whose company does Badu Jack fight under? Mayweather Promotions. He's a Mayweather fighter. He's putting his own fighters on the card. He put Chad Ochocinco on the card, Chad Johnson. So when you think about it, Mayweather's not only making money now, not only making money through his company on this fight, he's building the names of the fighters in his stable by putting them on these cards to make himself more money down the line. The man's brilliant. No matter what else you think about Floyd, you got to give him his due. He's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if it all works out. I mean, he's definitely got a plan. I mean, he's definitely working with a plan. We'll see if putting these guys on these cards come back and pay off later. I don't know. Floyd's gonna, Floyd's been smart his entire career. I mean, as far as the business thing, I mean, Floyd changed the sport of boxing with the way he bought himself out of the contract and started promoting himself and everything. And maybe that's why he gave Logan this. It's because Logan sort of changed, or him and his brother have sort of changed the way combat sports are done, and Floyd definitely did that.
Come on, Logan. Come on, Logan. Big right hand. I'm rooting for Logan Paul. I find myself cheering for him. You?
No.
I mean, he's the ultimate underdog. Think about that. The ultimate. Has there ever been a bigger underdog in any? And I know it's not a legitimate sporting event, and I know the comparisons weren't right. I should have said maybe there's like an exhibition flag football game with no officials where you could quarterback against Tom Brady would probably be a better comparison, Jeff, right? But there you saw Chad Johnson, Chad Ochocinco, and there's Floyd. I think that's Floyd. So it's interesting. I mean, Logan Paul, he just threw a right hand that missed by a county. And most of these punches missed by a mile. And I know because I train now, boxing is very demanding and very taxing and extremely, extremely hard to do at a high level. Hard to keep your concentration when you fatigue like that. It wears you down fast, but nothing makes you more tired, Jeff, than a missed punch in boxing. When you throw with everything you got and you miss, that takes way more out of you than anything you connect with. And then the other thing that takes everything out of you in boxing are body shots. It's the missed punches in the body shots. It's not the movement. It's not the footwork. Mayweather just nailed him with a big right hand. My feed's back on. The feed looks good and clean. The stadium looks good. The ring looks great. Cash App is paying a fortune to sponsor it. Look at that. They're the only company on the ring, Jeff. Can you believe that? How much does that cost on a 200? I mean, this is probably a $600 million fight. 600 or 700 million.
Yeah.
They're the only sponsor. There's a couple other ones in there, but they have all the corners, like cash, and the center of the ring.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much any of that stuff cost. I wouldn't even know, have any idea. I couldn't even throw out a number because I have no reference at all. But yeah, we're in the closing minute of the 5th round, or I am. And I don't know because the feeds have been kind of weird for this event. And I expect Floyd to turn it on in the next 2, right?
Mayweather really hurt him with a body shot in that last round, and he nailed him with a right hand. He's starting to, and there's a big reach advantage for Logan Paul too, but Mayweather's starting to creep in there and hit him with some decent shots. I think Logan Paul is starting to to fade here. But no matter what happens from here on out, it's a pretty good representation that he's made for himself. He's hunched over in the corner. He took a couple of those body blows like I was talking about, missed on a bunch of punches, but listen, man, I'm going to say it. I have all the respect in the world, man. It's easy for me to rip him. It's easy to say it should never happen. But the stain on sports is Floyd Mayweather's to bear, not Logan Paul. Logan Paul is doing exactly what any of us would do in his position if we have the balls to do it and the opportunity. He's standing in there against the greatest boxer of our generation, and he's into I can't even see what round it is because my feed's off a little bit, but he's going deep with Floyd Mayweather, and people say Floyd's carrying him, of course, and all these things, but it's an exhibition, and Floyd's starting to sneak through some shots. But I mean, Logan Paul, he was exhausted in his corner, but look at him. He's still here. He's still here throwing jabs at Floyd, smiling at him. He's having the time of his life. I watched his podcast with his brother, and he said everyone has that one moment in our lives that you can never top, where your wildest dream that you've ever had comes true, and you have a chance to be your greatest self for 1 minute. He goes, this is mine. Nothing's ever going to top this. And maybe nothing will ever top it. But what a moment. If nothing's going to top this, Jeff, what a moment for all these, the events, the press events. Everybody's down there. We're down there. I don't know if it was the weigh-ins or the press conference. We're at the Versace Mansion. And I used to hang out at the Versace Mansion. What an awesome place. I used to go there all the time when I lived in Miami. And for them to have it there and Logan Paul to experience what it's like to be a big-time fighter, this is almost like the ultimate fantasy camp. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't watch their podcast. I don't pay much attention to them. I don't. We live in two different worlds. And so I don't really even find them entertaining. But they got it. They are in here with Floyd. They've got this big social media presence, and it's just I don't know, man. I mean, I got mixed feelings about this. I mean, I'll say that hey, if you get a bunch of followers and you get a bunch of money, you can buy anything, even a fight with Floyd Mayweather. That part of it I don't like. But then again, if you get enough media following and you have enough money, you can get in there and fight Floyd Mayweather. I mean, and so that part, I don't know, man. I'm on the fence about it. It's sometimes just probably depends on my mood. It's sometimes I'm like, wow, Logan Paul friggin' deserves a high five for this shit, and he does. But then, 10 minutes later, I'm like, wow, I cannot friggin' believe I live in a world where Logan Paul's getting to fight friggin' Floyd Mayweather.
But that's not Logan Paul's fault, right? That's the thing about it. Like, people will make the fight for money. Floyd will take the fight for money. It's all on Floyd. It's all on Floyd.
But there's not a human being
to
on
me,
the
it's a disgrace that he even acknowledged it.
Well, he just saw an easy payday.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's just an easy payday. I mean, a real easy payday. I mean, this is what he does his whole career. Even if he got knocked out, it's an easy payday at his age. He's retired and making $120 million. But yeah, I mean, as far as Logan getting the opportunity, everyone on the planet would have taken this opportunity. There's not a human being on the planet, champion or otherwise, I wouldn't fight for $18 million. I mean, I'll put that out there right now. I don't. You line up Khabib, and I mean, hell, I don't give a damn for $18 million, Jim. I'll fight anybody. But
Mayweather's whole family's there. You're right. Line them all up, Khabib, one at a time. Take a punch from prime Mike Tyson. For 18
not
million?
A body shot. Not a body. Well, yeah, I would for 18 million. I just hope I didn't spit out my entire intestinal tract and stomach and lung. God, I don't want to get hit in the body by Mike Tyson, especially in his prime.
No.
Oh my God, I'm gonna wake up tonight and have a nightmare from that. They're picking up the pace.
Nothing's gonna work ever again.
Yeah, no, not at all. You might be. You might have one of those bags. You might be, that's going to be terrible. I mean, then we're going into the seventh round, and I feel like Floyd does need to do something to make this kind of one-sided. But if it goes to decision, there's no winner, and so
no judges.
Yeah, and so the last two rounds, I feel like Floyd's going to have to come out and put the pace on Logan, just for Floyd's sake. I mean, you were saying that you think Floyd has to look good here, or it's a big black eye if he loses and all of that. And I don't feel that way, but I feel like as somebody who's watched Floyd his entire career, if he doesn't turn it up here in the seventh and eighth rounds, I'm going to be kind of wondering, why anybody would pay to see Floyd fight again.
Well, that's the question I'm asking myself right now as I watch this. I mean, it's one of those things where it's a spectacle. It's an event. It's Mayweather's done it before. Look, it's no different than when he was at WrestleMania against the Big Show. Vince McMahon brought him in and he knocked the Big Show out. Of course, not real, but with a pair of brass knuckles. And then he fought Tenshin Nasugawa overseas, and that was an exhibition. Who could forget that one? The one punch finish there. So Mayweather's tour, it's been done a lot of times before. It's just becoming more and more mainstream in the fight world. And I wonder how much longer, UFC fighters, Paulo Costa's the first one. We haven't even talked about this yet. We have UFC shows coming up all next week. We got a big fight card, UFC 263 in Glendale, Arizona, right outside of Phoenix, where I live. I'll be doing my portion of the show, Jeff, next week, right outside the arena. And on the way in all day long, last stop on the way into the arena, you can come see us and say hi. I'll be there with MMA Weekly and a whole bunch of people. Guys, it's a big week, but there's going to be some fallout, UFC fallout, Monday morning, which will be, that's tomorrow morning. Dang, already. So it's going to be at 9 Pacific and 12 Eastern tomorrow morning. We will be talking about this. And I don't know if Scott's traveling back tomorrow. We'll do it Tuesday. But the point is, Paulo Costa now has pulled out of his main event against Jared Cannonier, and he pulled out of his event against Robert Whittaker, saying he had the flu. Now he's saying it's about money. You want me to be in the main event? Pay me like a main event fighter. I didn't sign this contract. These YouTube guys are showing us all that fighters should be paid. That's what's kind of happening now. How many fighters, like you said, they're going to either come back and fight out their UFC contract. They're either going to come back and they're going to, or they're going to wait until their contract is up and go fight in these fights. How in the world is any big name fighter going to re-sign with Dana White right now when he can go fight Jake Paul? Let's say Kamaru Usman's a free agent. Are you going to take the $10 million to go fight Jake Paul, or are you going to stay and fight in the UFC for a lot less? Dana and the UFC are going to have to deal with that. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to talk about it, but they're going to have to deal with this. It's coming.
Yeah, a champion can't leave. They're never not under contract. The champions' contracts don't run out. But
so maybe they'll lose on purpose to get out of it.
Paulo Costa doesn't have a big enough name to do what he's doing right now. So good luck, Paulo, trying to find a fight.
Yeah.
And good luck with the rest of your career. I think whoever advised Paulo Costa did him a grave disservice at this point in his career. And but I think you see Miesha Tate. I think you saw Woodley fight out his contract. I think you're seeing Miesha Tate come back to fight out her contract so she can do other things.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to see people do that for sure. But you got to have a big enough name for this to even matter. You've got to be a former champion, or boxing doesn't give a damn. Ben Askren was, he had different accolades than a UFC champion. It was the perfect matchup, right? It was exactly what they wanted. And so, you've got that, but you got to have a big enough name. And Paulo Costa does not right now. He doesn't have the name to fight that battle.
Yeah.
Or not.
No, you're right. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't disagree with what he's saying. I'm not saying that at all. I just don't think he can fight that battle. Look, John Jones is trying to fight that battle, and he's not winning it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
John Jones fighting a battle.
Win it?
Yeah. Yeah. Literally, if I'm Dana or anybody in the UFC and I see what Paulo just did, I just laugh. My attitude would be, hey, I don't even need this guy. It's a big enough sport to where, and I love Paulo. He's such a great dude, but like you said, just not good advice, man. Not good advice. He missed his fight against Whittaker. He's at the top of that division. You want to get paid? You want to get paid like a main event fighter? Go win the belt. Go fight a couple more big name fighters. He's beaten Yoel Romero. He had the chance against Izzy. Looked terrible. Came out later, said he drank wine the night before. Started really to do himself a disservice there. Paulo Costa has got to get back in there and win a couple of big-time fights. Meanwhile, here, Jeff, we got Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather in round 8, and Logan Paul coming out looking for the jabs, and there's a lot of clenching. That's all they've been doing the whole fight is clenching one another, and we're in the 8th round, so here it comes.
Well, look, like I said, this is an exhibition fight, and I don't like exhibition fights. I don't think you should be able to bet on an exhibition fight.
Right? No.
And so I'd be, because there's a reason why we have a commission, and so it's to make sure everything's above board. And we have no idea what agreements were made. And I'm not alleging anything. I'm saying that's why I don't like unsanctioned fights, is because that leaves the door of speculation wide open. And there may not be anything there. But yeah, we're in the 8th round of this, and it looks like both of them were content to have a little sparring match, an 8-round little sparring session. You know,
Well, I mean, look, yeah, and we're the suckers, and everybody's a sucker who's allowing them to make 120 million and whatever, and 38 million or whatever the numbers are. I mean, this has been worthy of about $5, honestly. Maybe not even, maybe like $3.99.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. You know, I have to watch it.
What did we pay for? What did we pay for? The spectacle,
just paid for the
right?
spectacle. Yeah, we paid for the spectacle. And Floyd didn't dismam, or not. He's got a minute to try to. He didn't, just completely destroy Logan Paul, and Logan Paul didn't knock out the smaller aged boxer. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, the storylines didn't play out. It was like I said. It was so far we've got a 7-round and 2/3 of a round kind of sparring match.
If I'm Logan Paul, I just go ham right now, and I do everything I can. I don't care. I'm throwing everything I have, doing everything in my power to get a knockout over Floyd Mayweather. That's all you can do. There's nothing else here but that. That's it. There's no winner other than Logan Paul if he can do that.
Yeah, there's no winner in this, it doesn't look like there's going to be, because I don't think Floyd has the knockout power to. He's going to have to land a series of punches to get Logan out of there, just because of the size, and Logan's not showing that sense of urgency here in the last. Yeah, you're
now these morons are going to run around saying they beat him.
I mean,
yeah.
Instead of doing anything, like I said, Logan Paul just at the end of that round raised his hand and started talking to Floyd, and Floyd didn't do anything back, and then Paul hit him. Like I said, that's why you don't pay for exhibition fights. There's nothing on the line.
You know what I would pay for? You know what we should be paying $200 million? You know what I would pay $200 million for right now, or my share of $200 million? I'll pay $7. No, Dana White's comments on this shitty fight. That's what I would pay for. I want to hear Dana White's comments on this farce joke of a fight it's not a fight, that we just watched, that people just spent all this money on. They're actually showing stats on Showtime, and it says, he landed jabs 7 of 73 and power punches 21 of 144. So Logan Paul landed 28 of 56, about 217 punches. He landed 56 of them. Mayweather's at 50% and 39%. Logan Paul at 10% and 15%. But my point is, I mean, literally, I thought that we would see Logan Paul go for broke and try to knock Floyd out. I thought Floyd would knock him out and just show him and say, hey, look, you're coming in my turf now. You're in the ring. And I just don't understand what I just watched. I want my time back in my life. I'm closer to the grave, and I got nothing out of it.
I mean, what we watched was a pay-per-view where Floyd Mayweather came out of retirement to take an easy payday against a kid who shouldn't have been in there with him, and he was just happy to be there, right? I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. Logan Paul's not a fighter; he was happy to be there, and he should have been happy to be there. He's going to collect his money, and he's going to go off, and he's going to say, "I went the distance with Floyd Mayweather," and he's his dignity stays intact. Hell, he might even get another fight. But look, at the end of the day, Logan Paul's not going to fight a top 190-pound boxer in the world. And Floyd Mayweather isn't going to either, and he didn't tonight. I mean, if anybody ranked in the top 3 at 190 pounds challenged Floyd Mayweather, he'd be like, what the hell, are you crazy? You know what I mean? It's kind of, for him taking this fight shows that, I mean, it's a sign of disrespect in a way towards Logan Paul, because who the hell in their right mind would take all of those disadvantages, a height disadvantage, age disadvantage, reach disadvantage, weight disadvantage, power disadvantage? And Floyd's like, yeah, I will. I mean, it's a YouTube guy. And Floyd said that earlier in the week. This is not a fight for me. This isn't a fight. It's his biggest fight, but it ain't even a fight to me.
Oh, and nobody wins. Nobody wins. What are we still doing? Socially distanced interviews? I didn't know. Okay.
I don't know.
Floyd's doing an interview right now in the ring. Can you hear? I can't hear him on mine.
No, I don't. I don't have it. Or I don't have the volume up.
I can't turn it while we're on the air.
Yeah, who knows what?
While we're on the air,
they're having a post-fight press conference, and we'll get their comments there. Can you not turn on your volume? I can mute my mic and turn it on.
No, that's okay. I'm literally just. I mean, who cares what they have to say, right? I mean, I want to hear the post-fight press conference stuff because those will be the legit questions. But whenever you have, and I've done the in-ring interviewing, and I've done both. I mean, I did play-by-play for Roy Jones Boxing for a couple of years, and we had some pretty big shows, and I would do the in-ring interviews, and I mean, that's a different format in there. You're in there as part of the broadcast team. You're asking a couple of quick ones, a couple of softballs to get it done and get it wrapped. Where you'll really get the questions that are probing and you want to learn more and know more, you'll get those questions in the post-fight press conference. You know what I'm saying? So that's when you'll get them. And we'll have that live right here on MMA Weekly. That's the thing. We'll have it live. But I think people are disgusted by this. I don't think the reaction is going to be good. I don't think people are going to be happy with what they saw. People are asking who won. Nobody won. It's an exhibition, and there were no judges and no scoring.
Yeah, I mean, if we have to judge it, and I'm going to judge that fight. Floyd Mayweather won pretty handily, but it was a decision, that, and I would say probably won every round. Logan Paul did land, and I'm going to give him this credit. He landed a good combination. I think it was in the third or fourth round. Landed a real good combination. He landed a left and then a boom overhand right, and it caused Floyd to kind of retreat for a second and then get right back on him. But look, what I feel like I saw is Floyd didn't do any training for this fight. He literally just got out the couch and said, "Yeah, I'll take this." Because while Floyd looked good, you could tell he didn't want to put out the energy that needed to say, like say he did in the McGregor fight. And maybe he didn't have it. Maybe he didn't have it. Yeah, I think it's going to get some criticism, but like I said, I mean, whenever you pay for a spectacle, sometimes you're going to get disappointed.
Logan Paul's not shrinking from his moment. That's for sure, man. He's in the ring right now. Legitimately, Jeff. I mean, he's taking advantage of every second. Every second of this, and I don't blame him. I would too. I mean, you're standing in the ring, talking to the crowd and a worldwide pay-per-view audience about how you just went 8 rounds with the greatest boxer of your lifetime. Who the hell wouldn't want to do that? Good for you, Logan Paul. Bad for everyone else, especially Floyd Mayweather. Jeff?
Sorry, I was listening to Logan Paul and commentating over him.
Oh, okay.
Myself. Logan, man, I mean, he's talking. I mean, look, yeah, Logan's on cloud 9 right now, right? I mean, he just got a gift in a way, and he got to fulfill a dream. That's awesome. Hopefully, we don't have a lot more of this. Hopefully, Woodley ends this shit because I don't like the jumping in line. I never liked it. I don't like it.
Right.
He didn't earn this shit. He didn't pay any dues. It screams of privilege. It screams of, are we going to see Kim Kardashian fight friggin' Joanna next? Because she can.
Well, Kim Kardashian got a number 1 show on TV because of a sex tape, right? Think about that.
Well, she only got the sex tape and was relevant because her dad was a lawyer and she was really rich on red carpet.
On OJ's case, yeah, OJ Simpson. And she was Paris Hilton's assistant. How I know all this, just shoot me, please, now.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? I mean, are we going to see some crazy person? And look, we've already seen it. This was just CM Punk on a bigger level. I mean, when you get down to it, the way the world is right now, and this would have seemed ludicrous to me even a few years ago. I mean, you could have, Kim Kardashian fight for the women's championship. She could fight Amanda Nunes. Why? Because Dana White's going to sell more pay-per-views for that damn event than he has in all other events, and so the fight promotion has to put it on. But that's where commissions come in.
Let's be honest. We just got a $5 chat tip. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. A top chat. Thank you very much. but thank you for tipping your servers tonight. We're here for you. No, but Jeff, when I think about this, man, and I don't want to be a negativist. I'm not a negative person. I'm an extremely positive. I'm always looking at the glass half full type of thing. But for something like this, I don't want to see any more of it either. But Dana has to remember that he did bring in Brock Lesnar, got very lucky when Brock won the title. No one thought Brock was going to win the title in the UFC. Let's be real. Not one person when he came in, except maybe him. And you know, Dana didn't care whether he wanted it or not, if he's being honest. And then he brings in CM Punk. So when you brought in Brock and you brought in CM Punk, you can't really say too much about any of this stuff. And you know, it is what it is, man. It's an exhibition.
So
it's a lot of fun for people to be a part of. And, you know, I mean, for people to be there at the event, I will say this, the after party is going to be pretty good for the Paul brothers. Man,
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. We need to stop giving Jake and Logan Paul and these people the credit for that. Kimbo Slice is the one that did it.
There we go. He knows the alphabet.
Check,
you know what I
check.
mean,
1,
Jim?
2,
Testing the
1,
mic
2,
for the press conference.
Check on stage.
Yeah.
Check, check.
Kimbo
1, 2,
Slice
1.
was the first one to get a social media
A,
following.
B, C, D, E,
and
F, G.
get,
Check,
in
check. 1, 2. All right, all good.
And so really, they're just
yeah, you're right. It was. It was Kimbo Slice backyard fighting. He was the first YouTube star to fight.
Yeah, and he got given that opportunity in Elite XC because it was easy. You know, it was low-hanging fruit, so to speak. And then the UFC decided that they were going to bring him in. But yeah, I mean, look, I guess we're always going to see this. I just don't like it. But look, I'll just lay it out. It's not even personal. Like, if I'm a promoter, then hell yeah, I'm going to put on these fights. You know, if you're a promoter, your job is to make money. And you know, and that's why we have a commission. That's why we sanction fights, because if it's up to the promoter, they'll pick who wins and who loses, who the referees are going to be and the judges, and they're going to have all the biggest fights they could possibly have, you know, hell or high water. So we can't let them do that, right? So we put this regulatory body in between the sport and the promoters, and rightfully so. Tonight we didn't have that, and you know, and it kind of feels that way that we didn't have it. It felt like it was an unsanctioned, you know, sparring match that maybe people agree not to go crazy. You know what I mean? And if people don't think that goes on, you're crazy. It's an exhibition bout. They could have had any agreement heading into there. You know, Floyd could have said, "Look, I'll let you go the distance."
You always talk about Rocky Balboa and Hulk Hogan coming in, and you said that was the start of all this, and you're right. And ironically, Jeff, this fight's in Miami, Kimbo Slice's home. I lived there at the time, and I remember him club one night, and there were a bunch of us were out, and he was with the Reality King guys. Kimbo got started by a porn site. Those guys had a porn site, and they have the best video production in the world, the porn sites, right? Because they have the most money. So they started producing these backyard fights. Kimbo was the star. An unknown street kid named Jorge Masvidal was a part of it, and they would go around to backyards and it'd just be backyard fights. Well, Kimbo becomes this huge YouTube sensation, gets the Elite XC deal and a shot at the Ultimate Fighter because of it. You're right, he was the first one, but when you go back to Rocky Balboa and Thunderlips, the ultimate male against the ultimate meatball, and Rocky Balboa goes, "Hey, what do you say, champ? Just take it easy. I jab you here, you jab me there, maybe you pick me up there, you know." And then Thunderlips starts going ham and takes it seriously, and it ends up being a brawl. But that was the beginning of all this. Hulk Hogan and Sylvester Stallone were the ones who, and then Vince McMahon on the piggyback that. Roddy Piper and Mr. T, or Hogan and Mr. T against Roddy Piper. Remember that when Mr. T fought at WrestleMania?
Well, it goes back even further. I just thought about it whenever you were the Thunderlips. It was Rocky 1. Oh, friggin' Creed that gave this nobody who should have never been in the damn ring with him an opportunity.
There you
we
go.
all bought tickets to the movie, and we've been replaying the damn script over and over and over, just about 6 or 7 years apart.
Yeah, and what's interesting too, you're right about that. And Rocky didn't even have a following. He didn't have any social media. He didn't have any fans. He had nothing. He was just a street kid from Philly, and now he has a statue. No real Philly athlete has a statue like Rocky Balboa's. Rocky Balboa, that tells you all you need to know about Philly sports. Rocky Balboa has the best statue out of all of them. And this year, Joel Embiid's not going to get one. He's out again, and they lost. Huh? Yeah. Yes, I've been to Philly.
Have you been? Did you run up the steps like a fool and hold your hands up? I did.
No, I didn't make it to the Rocky statue. I've been to Philly, but I never went to the Rocky. You believe it or not, I went to Mitchell and Ness. I went to Tony Luke's and Pat's and Gino's, and I went to some of those places. But I never made it to the Rocky statue. I wish I had, because the Rocky statue, you ask almost anybody who their favorite boxer is, and I mean, maybe anybody under 30 might not, but your favorite boxer of all time is Rocky Balboa, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not a boxing
But
fan,
at least Sylvester Stallone never tried to fight like Sylvester Stallone never said, "Hey, I'm a big boxing movie star. Now I'm going to go fight a real fighter." Maybe you missed out, Sly.
Yeah.
Maybe Sly missed out on that, Jeff.
Yeah, he might. He might have. Yeah, I mean, he very well might have.
Who would he have fought? Who would you have had Sly fight? Oh, he'd have been toast, though, Jeff. Look at the guys he would have had to fight: Duran, Leonard, Hagler. Because Rocky was a heavyweight, but Stallone's about 170 pounds, right? So who would he have fought?
Yeah. It wouldn't have been good for him. It wouldn't have been good for him.
That would have been.
But yeah, I mean, look, you know, it is what it is. You know, I mean, like I said, I feel like we just saw exactly what it was. Logan Paul fulfilled a dream of his, and he was able to by using his social media following and his hype. And so he got in there, and Floyd just said, "Yeah, man, this is an easy payday.
Guys.
I'll take it." We all bought it. Yes.
Yeah, Scott? Scott Peterson in Miami.
Are you guys hearing any of the sound coming from the press conference?
Yep.
You are hearing the sound from my side?
We're hearing the ambient noise from the press conference right now. So
Okay. All right.
they're going to meet the media. It's going to be a while before they get back here. That's a badass backdrop too, though, Jeff.
Yeah, but if they're smart, Jim, they should get back here immediately because they still have time to go out and have a good time in Miami. The quicker they get this over, they can go out.
Oh, here's the thing about Miami. I'll tell you all you need to know. And I would always tell people when they come to visit, they'd all get ready, and it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Like, what are you guys doing, man? It's Miami. We don't even go out till midnight, after midnight. I mean, if you get to the club at midnight in Miami, you're one of the first ones there. So this is perfect timing, and I'm sure somebody's at the Fontainebleau Hilton. I'm sure somebody's at Club Live tonight. Maybe 11's downtown. You know why Club 11's named 11's, Jeff? It's the #1 club in Miami. It's part strip club, part regular club. It's called 11. Do you know why?
No.
Just take a guess. Be as vain and shallow and superficial as possible.
I'm guessing somebody that wasn't John Holmes bought it.
Nope. Because 10s aren't hot enough to work
being
there, so they named it 11s.
I was trying to be as shallow as possible, and I thought, you know, I went with another. I went with another 11, Jim. I'm guessing it wasn't the greatest thing song, so
Yours you went way off the deep end on that one, Jeff. Where you going, man?
Yeah. You told me to be vain. You told me to be vain, and I couldn't. And I was like, well, how can I make this without just blurting out what I'm thinking?
This is the first time I've ever had anybody mention John Holmes on an MMA show. This is numerous first time for me. Virgin territory.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
But 10s aren't hot enough to work there, so they name it 11s. And someone will be there. Someone will be at Live, I'm sure. Live's the hottest club I've ever. It's right up there with the best clubs in Vegas. And I'm too old now to be hanging out at nightclubs. I don't really go much anymore. But you know, this is perfect timing it's the perfect city, Miami nightlife. So they just made $200 million, and they're going to go spend all our money that we just spent. But they're going to go have a great time in Miami tonight. And you know what? If I'm Logan Paul, I just went 8 rounds with the greatest fighter of my lifetime. I just proved that I could do something I've been talking about forever at the highest level, along with my brother. What don't Logan and Jake Paul have to celebrate? Let's ask that. What don't those guys have to celebrate? Their whole life is a celebration. Look what they've done. Look what these guys have done, man. He just went 8 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, they're going to celebrate till they get the call from Mike Tyson and says we'll pay you 30, and then.
Oh, Mike Tyson.
Yeah, and then
Mike
Logan
Tyson
Paul's
against Logan Paul.
That's when shit's going to get real. Yeah, why not, right? If we're going to do it, why not?
How about why not? Well, how about Tyron Woodley, Jeff? Logan can make more, but what about Tyron Woodley at the press conference? You know what I took from that presser? And I'm still waiting for T-Wood to get back to me. I think he's getting that big celebrity cash now, trying to set up an interview with him. But when I look at Tyron Woodley in that fight against Jake Paul said, bet me. You think you're going to beat me? Bet me. He said, I'll triple your purse. He said, I'll triple your purse. Talking down to him, I'll triple your purse, Tyron. And then he goes, if I win, yeah, there you go. David with another top chat. There's another tip for us, Jeff. Ding, ding, ring the bell. But I was going to say, when you look at what I lost my train of thought here. What was I can't even remember what I was saying. This is
you were talking about Logan, or you're talking about Jake Paul talking down to Woodley about
to
money.
Woodley, yeah, on the bet.
Yeah.
All you got to do is throw me $5. I completely lose all my like, whoa, I'm cheap. But there's another one. There's another $5. But when Tyron Woodley was challenged by Jake Paul, and he said, "I'll triple your purse," I believe he said triple, and he said, "If I win, you give me your purse." Tyron Woodley did not bet his purse. There's the first little dent in the confidence of Tyron Woodley. That's gamesmanship from Jake Paul. There's a $2.99 tip we just got. They're adding up right now. Thanks, Super Chatters. Really appreciate that. So, I mean, he's not 100% confident, is what I'm saying.
If Woodley calls you back, have him text me. You know, I'll tell him how to deal with Jake. When Jake starts talking down to you like that, Tyron, just tell him that I'll take you down. I'll take your fucking shoes. I'll take your pants, your shirt, and I'll walk out of here with everything you got on you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you can talk down to me all you want, but at the end of the day, I could take your entire life from you. You can't
your
take
entire
anything
life
from me. You know, you can't take anything from me except for maybe boxing reputation that I don't have. You know, so he really can't take anything away from Woodley. And I wish that Woodley and these MMA fighters would start just talking to him like that. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah man, I'm over here because I can make money in boxing. Yes, man, I'm going to make more money than I've ever made as an MMA fighter. Boxing, you're pathetic ass, you know. You're YouTube novice, athletic, you know, mediocrity. Yeah, man, I'm going to do that. You're going to talk down.
Here's the difference, Jeff.
Got more money.
Here's the difference. You will never, and The Rock you'll never, ever see, and you might see an idiot, but you're very unlikely to see someone try to do what Jake and Logan Paul are doing in an octagon or an MMA cage. There is no fucking way someone's going to get in there against a world-class fighter who can take you down, who can beat you up on the ground, who can throw knees, who can throw elbows, who can throw kicks, who can throw everything in the world at you, choke you out, break your arm, snap your leg off. I want to see someone like Jake Paul or Logan Paul challenge a UFC fighter to a mixed martial arts fight. You don't see that happening, do you? Because you're not going to see it happen, because no one's that stupid.
No, and that's why CM Punk are better than the Paul brothers.
Yeah, you want to go put pillows on your hands and do an exhibition? Sure, that's great.
Well,
but
with
no rules and no judges.
Look, and Logan Paul said it yesterday, I think, at the press conference. You know, they asked him if he would fight one of the top boxers right now, and he said, "No, I'll fight him in an MMA fight." You know, and so he's willing to fight MMA guys in boxing fights, but he's not willing to fight boxers in boxing fights. He wants to fight them in MMA.
Right.
And so I think the boxers should do it. The boxers should take him up on the offer for an MMA fight because you know, look, I don't know. We saw what we saw. It was a freak show. It was kind of a spectacle. And Floyd has kids, man. Floyd's talked about it. His kids know the Paul brothers really well. I don't know that Floyd could put it on them and go home tonight and look at his kids and like, yeah, man, I just beat the shit out of the guy you watch on YouTube all the time. Sorry, kids. So I don't know. And like I said, that's a for it to be non-sanctioned, man. That just always raises red flags. Always raises red flags because there's no reason why there wasn't an agreement between the two. And I'm not making an allegation. Get that 100% across. I'm not making an allegation. But what I am saying is, because it was an exhibition non-sanctioned fight, there would have been nothing wrong with Floyd saying, "Hey, Jake, I'll let you go the distance. Just don't try to hit me real freaking hard." And Jake say, "Yeah, okay." And then we just saw it. That there was nothing that prevented that from happening. And that's why you have sanctioned fights, and commissions, and everything. So you, at least you know it was legit. I don't know if that fight was legit. It looked like 8 rounds of sparring.
It was. And look, he landed 7 jabs and 14 punches, or 21 punches. His percentages were under 10%. That's what you expected. You knew Logan Paul wasn't going to hit Floyd Mayweather. He had one chance to land a big shot, and that was it.
Yeah. Well, what I didn't like about that outcome is it just so works out that they both saved face, right? You know, I went 8 rounds with him, and Mayweather's like, "Hey, I just toyed with him. I didn't want to hurt the kid." You know what Floyd's going to say at this press conference, you know, right? Floyd's going to say, "I never even turned it on. You know, I was just toying with him the whole time. There was no reason to hurt him."
You know what he should be saying? You know what Floyd should be saying at the press conference? "I'm sorry, guys, I can't keep a straight face. I got to go." That's the only thing he would say that would be accurate right now. Sorry, guys, I'm just laughing. I can't even. Like, you think Larry Holmes was laughing to the bank when Mike Tyson knocked him out, and they said, oh, he goes, I'm laughing to the bank. You know, well, what's Floyd Mayweather doing tonight with $120 million and all this promotion for his up-and-coming fighters like Badu Jack? And, you know, I just, look, I have friends who are working on this card. My buddy Ray Flores is on this card. I mean, he's there again. So I give props to people who do this. And as a guy in the business, would I want to work this fight? I mean, sure, you'd want to be there to get the exposure. I wouldn't want to be the play-by-play announcer and have to call it like a serious fight. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, this was put on, like, everything about this was legitimate on the boxing side except the fight itself. They didn't have judges, and there's no winner, obviously, but everything else was almost the same. They had all the pomp and circumstance leading up. They have everybody. It's a spectacle, and it felt like a real fight for Logan Paul. The ultimate bucket list night, the ultimate bucket list moment for Floyd Mayweather. Floyd has proven time and time again he only cares about the money. Floyd Mayweather only cares about the money, and that's okay. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, man, and I talked to Henry Cejudo about this. I saw him a couple weekends ago. We were at the victory party for Leandro Higo and Bruno the Bulldog, and we were hanging out, sitting there talking. And congrats, by the way, to Henry and Anna. Henry and his girl are pregnant. They're having a baby. America Cejudo is due in, what, about 8 months? Yeah, about 8 months. So anyway, I was talking to him about this, and I said, come on, man, you coming back? You know, the sport misses you. He goes, show me the money, Jim. He goes, I'm not fighting. I go, you don't miss competing? You don't miss any of that? Competing my whole life. My body's worn out. Show me the money. You reach a certain point where the only thing that motivates you as an athlete at that level, and I've seen times the only thing that can motivate you at that point, especially if you haven't made it, is money. But the way Mayweather spends money, that's why I opened the show wondering if he needs it. Does he need it, or is he just looking to, you know, to stack it up as high as he can? I don't know, but $120 million, there's nothing about that says don't take the fight. People can talk about Mayweather being a stain on the sport. The fact that he would even acknowledge a YouTube star, let alone get in a ring with him, it's a disgrace, it's this, it's that. Well, he doesn't care. Pay me. Oh, yeah? I got your money. 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 That's what that's what he cares about. He's done his work. He's built his legacy. He is about the money. His name was Money Mayweather. It's about, his team's the money team. His whole entire world is about money, and that's what this whole night was about, because he just made $120 million more. And Logan Paul made more. I mean, 18 million is probably a starting number for him. Jake from Showtime. Showtime's the network for the Paul brothers now, apparently, and Triller's left out in the cold. You know, so it's interesting to see that he can go, and Jake Paul in 2 fights can go from Triller to an 8-figure Showtime contract. I mean, it's unbelievable what we're seeing right now, and I don't see any signs of it slowing down. This fight's not going to do anything to dissuade this. It's only going to encourage more.
Well, I mean, the public is the reason why. I mean, if people don't want to see this shit, stop paying for it. You know, just because it's Paul brothers doesn't mean you got to buy the damn product. Make them wrong. Make them wrong. You know what I mean? It is. I mean, we're weird. We're a weird species, man. I mean, you know, sometimes
we're a weird species.
Sometimes we just like strange entertainment that means nothing. You know, anybody ever been to a Fish concert? Anyway, I digress on that. But you know what I mean? I mean, sometimes it's not about the seriousness of it. Sometimes it is just about the ridiculousness of it. And you know, like I said, I'm sure some people are going to draw inspiration from this. I just hope they don't draw the wrong kind of inspiration. You know, spend their entire life trying to become a YouTube star. Maybe that's not the best outlet. But if you set your mind to it and you actually put in work, everything, I believe that. I don't think that's the real story here. But, yeah, man, I mean, people are going to take from it what they want. You know, you're going to have some people pissed off that they didn't see Floyd get knocked out. You're going to have people pissed off they didn't see Logan Paul get knocked out. You're going to feel, some people are just going to feel like they just got scammed, me. And then you're going to have other people who are going to say, you know, Logan Paul lasted 8 rounds. He should be proud of himself. Hell, put him in there with, you know, Tyson Fury next. You know, so this is going to go all over the place. We're kind of in the land of ridiculous.
I mean, all the props in the world to Logan Paul. He really could have gotten hurt in there tonight. They're fearless, he and Jake, I mean, for sure. And what Jake Paul did against Ben Askren, I never thought I'd see happen, and I was impressed by it. I think it's more unimpressive and a stain on Ben Askren than it is impressive on the part of Jake Paul. But now he's got to fight with Tyron Woodley. And if he beats Tyron Woodley in a boxing match, MMA fighters think they can just go in there and box, Jeff. MMA fighters are not boxers. Some MMA fighters are good boxers, but the sports are so different. The footwork's... Look, I train both, and I train both so I can know what I'm talking about, and even that's debatable. But I want to say this. The left hook I throw for boxing, I'm standing there with my foot forward, my left foot forward, my right foot back in my stance. I'm just turning my hip, and I'm firing that hook. An MMA hook that my coach is teaching me, I take a big step left, come more over the top, and turn the fist as it comes in. Completely different footwork, completely different punching style, completely different everything for an MMA fighter. And Jake Paul said it. He said, you can't learn to box in 86 days, and I'm going to expose them. And these kids have been boxing a long time. So I think, getting a UFC fighter in there and boxing them, that's a bit of an unfair advantage for any pro boxer. But, when you look at Jake Paul, he's not legitimately a pro boxer. But Logan Paul actually got in there against Floyd Mayweather, the greatest boxer. So, it's unbelievable. I can't believe I've kept a straight face this long.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy that we just witnessed that. Only in America.
Yeah, it is.
Don King would say.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Jake and Woodley, look, Ben Askren's not a boxer, and he's so far from a boxer that it's not even funny. He's closer to being a goat or a dinosaur than a boxer. So let's we can now Woodley though. I will say that, and and Woodley can always throw back on that money comment that I won't take the bet because I'm poor.
Excuse me.
But you wanted the rematch.
Uh-oh. Here we come, Jeff.
Hey, Pate.
Here's Floyd.
Hey, Pate.
This is Floyd Mayweather about to hit the podium, and we got the ambient noise there from the press room. Floyd Money Mayweather finishes the 8-round exhibition against Logan Paul.
Guys? Hey.
Questions? And here is Floyd Mayweather live on MMA Weekly from
How
Miami.
you doing, Mr. Money?
How you doing?
Doing all right. Mark Stahl with the Miami Times. My question to you was why Miami, and how did it feel to come down here, and your performance was great.
Well, we chose Miami. Of course, the first choice was Las Vegas because that's where I started my career. That's where that's the mega of boxing. So we wanted Vegas at first. The Vegas Nevada Commission turned us down. So our next choice probably was LA, Dallas, or Miami. So we didn't really know where we wanted to go, and so we wanted the fans to be able to come out and have fun. So we chose Miami.
I got to follow up. In the 4th round, you kind of had that pep in your step after you hit Logan Paul with the left hook. How did you feel out there?
It was fun. I wanted to get the people a show, and he was fighting to survive, as you guys can see. Every time he punched, he'd clinch. Every time he'd punch, he'd clinch. He was the bigger guy, and a little awkward. Well, his background is wrestling, if I'm not mistaken, so he was good at tying me up. So a guy that came in over 200 and some pounds, I came in at 155, but no excuses. I had fun tonight, and I go out there to put on a show, and I really believe that he was, just going a distance. That was a win for him, so he was happy with going a distance.
Floyd, he seemed pretty fatigued by the middle part of the fight. Were there times where you felt that you hurt him and maybe even could have gotten him out of there?
He can grapple. Yeah. He's good with holding. He's very, very good with holding. And like I said before, his background is wrestling. So, when a guy over 200 and some pounds holding you, I'm trying my best. Even though I got a lot of experience, but it's hard to get a heavyweight off you. Yeah. I fight at welterweight, fighting a heavyweight. Yeah. And like I said before, I had fun. I'm pretty sure he had fun. You know, he was the brothers, Jake as well as Logan, was so happy that his brother was able to go the distance. So it was cool.
His brother's saying that he won the fight. I'm assuming trolling you, so to speak. But what are your thoughts on that?
He's entitled to feel. You know, he's entitled to feel how he want to feel. I mean, a guy that's retired like myself, train a few days a week. I mean, I'm not training every day for this. For me to be retired, to be a grandfather, and to come have some fun with a guy that's in his 20s. When the money comes, we'll see who's the real winner. Because at the end of the day, I'm going into the Hall of Fame for boxing. And I have nothing to prove. You know, when I was competing, I had a great career. If they're happy with holding 8 rounds, you know, dancing and grappling for 8 rounds, congratulations. You know, one thing about me, I don't go back and forth because we went out there, we did what we had to do, and that's what it is.
Floyd, congratulations, great event. You guys put it together at record speed. Your face looks clean, like you didn't fight yet.
It is what it is. Like I said, I came here to Miami. It was fun. This is my probably third time as a professional fighting in Miami. I fought a couple other times in Miami. Had some great turnouts before. This was a great turnout tonight. You know, 30,000. We done it was a great gate. Hopefully the fans was pleased and the people was pleased. I think if he would have fought, if he tried to fight a lot more, then it probably wouldn't have went to 8.
You know, the Showtime site crashed earlier this evening.
Huh?
The site crashed. So many people trying to buy it at pay-per-view.
I'm just truly blessed to be where I'm at, to be able to build a legacy and still make a fortune off of my legacy. It was fun. I'm happy that my children was able to come out, my mom and a lot of people from all walks of life to come out, the media, see some action, have a little fun. I feel good. It was cool, and there's really nothing I can really say, but we did what we did tonight.
What's going on, Mayweather? This is Nathan Addison with Black Sports Online. I'm actually curious to know, did Logan Paul's style and performance remind you of any past fighter that you fought?
Absolutely not. He was a little awkward. I can tell. I had to press the action. Me being this small shouldn't be able to walk to a man that big.
Walking you down the whole time.
I was pressing the action. He'll punch 2 punches, hold, 3 punches, hold. So there's nothing really I can do. I mean, as you guys see, he was putting his leg on the rope. He was fatigued, but when I talk about this exhibition, I'm gonna talk about he know how to hold. He's a great holder, a great grappler also. But like I said, I've been in this sport for so long, and tonight was just, I was letting people see that I'm able to come out at my age, at 44, and still sell out 30,000, and still do crazy numbers to where I can make Showtime crash. So I'm truly blessed, and I'm not here to bash anyone, talk bad about anyone. Of course, at my age, I'm not going to perform like when I was 19. I don't supposed to. It's all about growth and aging. You know, is my hair gonna be all black forever? Absolutely not. When I get older, it's gonna turn all gray. I understand that. That's a part of life. Am I gonna be able to fight like I was fought when I fought Diego Corrales or Arturo Gatti? Absolutely not, and I understand that. So, but the early sacrifice that I made, that I talked about, when I signed with Top Rank, I was with a company from 1996 to 2006 for 10 years. Beat the best fighters and didn't make 8 figures at all. I would make 8 million, 7 million, 6 million on the regular. As soon as I became my own boss, my first paycheck was 8 figures. And from there, you know, I was able to pay myself more and more, and I was able to be my own boss and earn what I wanted to earn. Whereas, and it's not bashing any fighter when I talk like this, not bashing any fighter.
Floyd, you mentioned...
Hold on.
Sorry.
When I come and do an exhibition or come out and box and have some fun, I do it because I want to do it, not because I have to do it. Whereas Pacquiao, at his age, which is sad that he has to fight. You know, I'm financially set, and I want to let everybody know this. You're gonna hear so many different stories. Oh, Floyd have to do this. No, I'm well off. Every property that I have is paid for. My jet is paid for. All my cars is paid for. I own billion dollar buildings. I own so much property, and I'm steady investing in different things. I'm investing in the tech world. I made a lot of smart investments. So I didn't do it by myself. I want to thank my team, and as well as Leonard, a guy who's been loyal to me. And you test different people's loyalty. Of course, we go through ups and downs. That's a part of our friendship. That's a part of business. Kelly Swanson, Steven Espinoza, Al Hammond, and Fight Hype. Got to give a shout out to Fight Hype, because when the world was against me, writing bad articles about me constantly, they stood behind me. So that's why when it's time to do an interview or it's time to get some behind the scenes footage, I will always give it to Fight Hype first. Because, like I said before, I believe in reciprocation. Treat me like you want to be treated. And I'm here to let the world know. I already know that I'm not going to perform at the, you know, when I'm almost 45 years old. I'm not going to be able to perform like 20 years ago. Of course not. That's a part of age. But you age gracefully. But I'm still smart enough to make smart investments and push my kids and to be great. So tonight, the best thing about this whole week, it wasn't this fight. It wasn't the money. The best thing about this week was my youngest daughter graduating.
There she is in the back.
Floyd, you mentioned kind of... Floyd, you mentioned the right up front. Dania. Floyd, you mentioned the grappling throughout the fight. The grappling,
Yes.
the holding from Logan.
Yes.
Was there ever any points in the fight where you felt if you wanted to, you could have got him out of there?
I could have, but I mean, the people wanted a show. I mean, I could have really pressed real hard and start throwing, you know, this crazy combinations, but, you know, it was fun. It was fun.
Entertainment.
Things happened, and it was fun tonight. That's all I really can say. But his whole goal wasn't to come out here and knock me out. His whole goal was to survive, and that was a win for him. If he can land a few punches, punch and hold, that was a win for them. So if they're happy, then so be it. Because when the history books is written, I will always be TBE when the history books is written.
That's right.
First of all, Floyd, congrats. After this performance, is there any chance to see you again in a professional fight?
Oh, absolutely not. I retired from the sport of boxing. I said this before. You know, it's not easy. Just, I mean, even for this this fight, just training. I train a day, take a couple days off. Train a day, take a couple days off. Because of the age, because of the wear and tear from early on in my career. Really not no punches to the head or anything, but it's, you know, boxing is really wear and tear on the body. Just sports, period. It's wear and tear on the body. Whether it's football, basketball, it's wear and tear on the body. Athletes, period. When it's blood, sweat, and tears, it's a lot of, you abuse the body a lot. But as far as me coming back in the sport of boxing, absolutely not. As far as me doing an exhibition again, probably not. We don't know. We just have to see. I mean, but I'm pretty sure we've done some great numbers tonight, Stephen. I want to say thank you to Showtime. I mean, I was with a company. I was with HBO, and then I was able to come over to Showtime and make them the A side in boxing. I told them that I'm capable of doing that. My team believed in me. Stephen believed in me. And then, like I told Stephen, if the numbers ain't right on this fight, they'll be right on the next fight. So I understand business, whereas I'm going to give you guys the breakdown on what we do. So when I fought Robert the Ghost Guerrero, we done some pretty cool numbers, you know, but it's more than what any other fighter does, but it wasn't the numbers that they wanted to see. So I said, okay, I know how to do it. We'll fight another guy that's young, hungry, and undefeated, which was Canelo. And when he was at the top of his game, and I was old at that particular time, and I knew that we would do great numbers, because two undefeated champions, period. When they collide, the world wants to see it, especially when he got a huge country behind him. And I'm a big worldwide figure in the sport of boxing. We came together, we did great numbers. Then I think we done the Marcos Maidana fight twice in a row. We done some pretty cool numbers. Then I made a call to Al. I said, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do some record-breaking numbers. So I said, the guy that they claim, quote unquote, that I'm scared of, which I'm not, Manny Pacquiao, I just said, all I wanna do is, anytime, I just always wanna be on an even playing field. I just want to be on an even playing field. So we were able to do a Pacquiao fight. We done record-breaking numbers. And then I said, you know, let me do a fight that I wanted to do, which was the Berto fight. Just a cool little warm-up fight. You know what I'm saying? They owe me that gift to be able to do the little Berto fight. Then I done that fight. This how it worked. Then I seen I was able to rob the bank again. So I said, if I'm able to rob the bank at 40 and make $350 million, why not do it? Because it's all about working smarter, not harder. It's all about working smarter, not harder. So y'all can't be upset that when I was Pretty Boy Floyd and beat all the best and the tough fighters, nobody and didn't really get paid anything. I'm not saying I'm unappreciative, but I wasn't getting paid. I was underpaid. So now it's time for me to really get I bust my ass to get to where I got to, since I'm still a king of the throne, and it's not king of the throne as far as in a boxing world. I'm the king of the throne in business, because for me to be able to come out in 8 rounds, and I can't even say what's the number that I put, you know, what I made, but just now, when I come up here and sit down, before I even walked out there to the arena, before I even walked out there, I made $1 million. Just sitting in the dressing room, I made $1 million. So, and they say, well, it's not all about the money. Well, your kids can't eat legacy. They can eat off the currency. So, I believe in building generational wealth. That's what's important to me. Generational wealth. My kids will be great because I would push them to be great. Not in boxing, just in business. Whatever they want to do, whether it's music, real estate, football, whatever they want to do, I may not approve of it, but I will always push them to be great. My dad pushed me to be great. Pushed me to be great. So, even like tonight, if those young kids is happy, oh, I went 8 rounds, and with the exhibition, the main thing that you should be happy with is this. I mean, it wasn't a real fight, so that's really it's like some sparring in the gym. So if I'm able to come and spar, now you talking about fights that got to go out there and really fight right now in the sport of boxing. They're fighting, they make 3 or 4 million. Just leading up to this fight. Just leading up to the fight. You know, my trunks alone, just my trunks alone, 30 million, just with the patches on my trunks, that's 30 million alone. So who's really the smartest one in the sport of boxing? And y'all getting mad, y'all getting upset. Y'all getting upset. And guess what? I'm not going to no boxing sites because all they do, I get to hate on both sides. If you don't like me, don't write about me. If you guys don't want to see me do no exhibitions, don't come. Don't watch. I come on record and tell y'all, when it comes to legalized bank robbing, I'm the best. I changed my name from Pretty Boy Floyd. When I changed it to Money Mayweather, I started making money. You got to speak things to an existence. So y'all can write the stories that y'all want to write. I don't care if y'all write good stories. I don't care if y'all write bad stories. At the end of the day, I will always have the last laugh. Because the people that write the stories, you be like, damn, I'm writing this story about Floyd. But look at the house I go to. And look at the house he go to. Damn, I'm writing about Floyd. But you telling me that this kid, you tell me another boxer that makes $30 million from patches on his trunks. Tell me one. Tell me one. Remember, y'all forget, I'm the one that put heavyweights out of business when I was fighting. Man, it's all about the big guys, the heavyweights. I put them out of business. Then all the guys that y'all said was extraordinary, the Canelos and the Pacquiaos, I made them look ordinary. Then y'all go back and say, oh we want to see Floyd fight him again. Why? When you get it done right the first time, you ain't got to do it the second time. If this kid said he'd been training every day for years, every day in boxing, I'm somewhere in Aruba, in the Bahamas, in Dubai. I'm traveling the world on my jet, making millions every month, not worried about nothing. And then when I see it's a chance for me to do a heist, a quick heist, I'm gonna let y'all know this. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. At the end of the day, I'm the smart one. Because I don't care if you write good about me, you write bad about me, just keep writing about me. Y'all keeping my name out there. Y'all talking about, oh yeah, Floyd, yeah, they say, oh, Floyd don't look good like he used to look. My bank account looking better and better each and every day. And I'm not coming back to the sport of boxing. Absolutely not. I did what I had to do. I made my mark on the sport. I got all my faculties. Made a ton of money. They probably like, money ain't everything. Well, I know we got to eat food every day to survive so we can live longer, and that takes money. So, to me, it looks like money is everything. But one thing money can't come between, not between me and my children. I love them unconditional. So, I knew I was supposed to have been out here earlier this week. I was supposed to have got to Miami early. The most important thing was my daughter's graduation. To me. Yeah. I'm just saying, to me. Tonight was this like I said before, was this the most important thing tonight? I mean, just this week? Absolutely not. My daughter was. My children and my family is always the most important thing to me. So, no matter what y'all write, whether you write good, write bad, oh, Floyd ain't like he used to be. Well, you getting paid. And if you don't want to watch, don't watch.
That's it.
But damn, it's crazy that I could do 30,000 at my age on some sparring. Now, who's the smart one? Okay. So, I know y'all got some questions. Go ahead.
Rick Muhammad, Brawler Sports Media Champ. It was great seeing you back in the ring doing what you do tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for that show. You had a lot of success to the body tonight, Logan Paul, and I wanted to know, at any time in those close clinches, was he grunting or cringing? And you could tell he was tired, and the body shots was really effective.
Breaking him down to the body, big guy, chop him down, but Logan, hell of a grappler, hell of a holder. And like I said before, when you got a guy over 200 and some pounds, I'm pretty sure he weighed 189 yesterday, came in over 200. After he got rehydrated. It was cool, something to do. It was cool tonight.
Thank you, champ. Let's go, champ.
Okay.
Let me just add something. I know Logan's on his way. I know Floyd's got lots of plans tonight, a busy night ahead of him. But this may be, despite everything that I've tried over the last 6 years, this may be the last time we see him in the ring. And so whether you like the exhibition or not, whether you agree on the opponent or not, give this man his flowers today. They said he was too small to lead the sport of boxing. Said there's a small guy, wasn't going to make money. They said a guy who left a big promoter wasn't going to have a successful career. Back in 2014, they said he was done. The other network let him go because they thought his best days were behind him. And we saw the last of him in 2015. He gave us a little bonus in 2017. Record-breaking bonus, gave us a little taste in Japan, gave us another little taste, a little reminder. I just want to say there will be some criticism, but we can't pay attention to that. Give this man his respect. For every true boxing fan, it is a joy to see this man in the ring each and every time he is in there.
That's right.
Just want to thank everyone for all their support. Again, this was a great promotion. Really, really proud of Floyd. He went out there as always and entertained the fans. And most people, we don't care nothing about no criticism because at the end of the day, we're winning in life. And going in there, when you really think about it, like Floyd weighed 155 pounds yesterday. I guarantee you he weighed less tonight. Guaranteed. And here it is, he's in there with a heavyweight. A heavyweight. So I'm, again, me, Steven, Al, and his whole entire team, we're really, really proud of him. And I think everyone should give him a standing ovation for a wonderful, wonderful career and what he's given to the sport and how he's helped so many people. Again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in all over the world and thank everyone for coming out tonight. Again, thank you.
That was Leonard Ellerby, Floyd Mayweather's manager, and of course Steven Espinosa, Showtime, Jim Greashopper, Jeff Kane on MMA Weekly. Money Mayweather live, maybe for the last time in a boxing ring tonight. The exhibition against Logan Paul, rather. Sorry, I knew I was going to do that. I almost made it through the whole show, but the exhibition against Logan Paul, Jeff, ends up going in Floyd's favor, and just crazy, man, when you think about this and the money that he's made. He made no bones about it. That's one thing I do love about Floyd Mayweather, Jeff, is that he will tell you it's all about the money, and he'll tell you with a straight face. He called it a legalized heist. He called it a legalized heist, and that's exactly what it was. And Floyd Mayweather, the man who put it all together, just told you what it was. But we want to see him in there. We're addicted to greatness. We want to see it any form we can. We want to see it any time we can. We want to see it as often as we can before it's gone. And Floyd Mayweather might be gone. He might be gone. Now, you could argue as a boxing fan that Floyd Mayweather retired and he's been gone for a long time. But Steven Espinosa said, give the man his flowers now. Interesting. As we come back up, I want to show you something, Jeff. This is interesting. Well, it's interesting to me. Maybe nobody else, but I have this here. When I used to cover all the HBO pay-per-views, they used to fly me out. And this is when Floyd was still with it. You can see the suit he had on. He wasn't lying about being underpaid. Look at those two young guys right there. Jeff Floyd's still in his 20s there. And me, that's 15 years ago, I was 34. And Mayweather is 29 in that picture. And that was before he made his money. Soon after that, he left Top Rank, did his own deal, bet on himself with his own people and his own marketing team and he marketed to his people. He said, I'm marketing to my people in the inner cities. No one believed in that as a philosophy. No one believed in that as a principle. No one believed in it, that it was solid business. But like Floyd Mayweather said, like him or not, hate him or not, think what you want, he's winning in life. He's laughing all the way to the bank, and he just did it again tonight in a big, big way, Jeff.
Yeah, and if anybody wondered why they don't like Floyd Mayweather, rewind the tape and watch the post-fight press conference. Jesus Christ, man. He landed more pats on his back than Logan Paul landed punches in the damn fight. Jesus Christ, Floyd. We know, Floyd, you robbed
I love you, Jeff.
us out of fucking
Just
money.
want to put it out there.
Well, look, man, he just sat there and said, I robbed you guys out of all this money. You know,
He did.
I gave you a sparring match, but hey, give me applause and flowers for me pissing all over you. I don't know, man. Bye, Floyd. Bye. You know, Floyd's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He deserves all of that. But that's a hard pill for me to swallow, watching him pat himself on the back for 20 minutes after admitting that he scammed us out of fucking money tonight. Bye, Floyd.
That's as bad as Patrick Ewing. Remember when Patrick Ewing was like, hey, we can't. People were talking about the NBA lockout in 1999, and Ewing goes, hey, man, you don't know how many cars I have to pay for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, literally, some people just should, and Floyd is great at a press conference, but just to rub it in people's faces like that, like, yeah, I just took your money. Yeah, I just took your money. What are you going to do about it?
It's a hard pill. It's a hard pill. And let's not equate intelligence with who can scam who, because, man, that opens up a hell of a can of worms, doesn't it?
No, but he's a great businessman. Scams aside.
Floyd changed boxing. Yeah, Floyd's not a dumb
The Conor fight was a scam, Jeff.
100%. It's just the MMA community was too gullible to believe it, and so they all bought into it.
We still are.
I was screaming all along. This was it was a sparring match for Floyd. It was basically what happened tonight, except Floyd decided to finish him. Floyd changed boxing. I'm not down on Floyd. Scott and I actually talked earlier about Floyd, and Floyd's one of my favorite boxers, other than he lacked knockout power. But as far as his defense, man, he was a ghost in there. And the way he talked and everything. But now it's a little damn much, Floyd. It's a little much. If that's your swan song, kind of giving us all the bird and saying that, y'all thought y'all were going to get something that you didn't. But Floyd is going to be a Hall of Famer. He's earned that. Floyd's competed at the top level in this sport for so many years. He earned every bit of that. I don't know that he earned anything tonight, other than maybe that has to be his last fight, because nobody's going to pay for it now that you didn't let the cat out of the bag and rub their noses in it. But yeah, I think that summed it up, though. Whenever you said, I don't know what we saw tonight, clearly Floyd was just out here to make an easy payday, and props to him for that. We allowed him to do it. I hope that you didn't spend that $59 to take food off of your kid's plates. I'll just say that.
To put it on his kid's plate. And the interesting thing about Floyd, and talking to him over the years and the interviews I've done with him and the fights I've covered of his, he knows how to put on a show, and he knows how to market. He knows how to sell. He said, I made $30 million off my trunks. I made $1 million in the dressing room just sitting there. Companies are paying. How much did Cash App and DraftKings pay tonight in Escape Room? You see him on the banner there. How much money they paid to be a part of this. How much money people are shelling out to buy the pay-per-view. how many revenue streams are coming in off of this fight, how much money this fight, I don't want to call it a fight, how much money this event brought to the city of Miami, how much money this event put in the pockets of all the people who work. It's hard for me, man, because there's a lot of people making money who really fucking need that money. So if Floyd Mayweather's going to sit up there and say, hey, I just fucked you guys, okay, that's fine. But a lot of that money found its way to people who didn't, and a lot of that money found its way to people who could really use it. And for that reason, whenever two people like this, Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather, put on an event that feeds so many people, that takes care of so many people who really need it coming off a COVID year where there haven't been events, that's where my conflict comes as a 49-year-old man who doesn't think like I'm 25 anymore. Floyd said, your body's not the same. Well, my mind's not the same. Every part of me just wants to rip this. Every part of me just wants to go nuts like I used to on sports radio in Miami, New York, and Phoenix, and just go nuts and scream and yell and piss and moan and call everybody a jackass and a loser. And, you know, I can't do that anymore, man, because a lot of good people got fed tonight off this fight. A lot of people are watching us here. A lot of people care. Floyd Mayweather just pissed on all of them. You're right. But Floyd Mayweather's been doing that for years, man. He's throwing his money up in the air in strip clubs and burning it. What are you expecting from a guy who does that? I know you ain't got shit, but boom, I'm burning my money. Okay. Do you expect anything less from a guy like that? No, I don't.
No, I do. But I mean, it is
right.
what it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good point.
You know, I got. I mean, you know, I get mixed. I get mixed emotions about that because, yeah, man, there was a hell of a lot of money brought into Miami. The servers still made $213 an hour, and so the money brought into those big cities are brought into the hotels. The people that work the hotels are still making their hourly wages. I mean, the influx of money goes. You know. Inappropriately, in my opinion, to people who work. You know, work.
All right, Jeff. Well, here comes Logan Paul. He won big tonight too, even though no one won the exhibition.
How do I look?
Logan Paul exclusively
Am I okay?
from Miami on MMA Weekly.
Got a couple shine pretty. Thank you. What's your number? How y'all doing? That was crazy. Wow, that was crazy for me. Sure.
Logan, when Floyd was in here a few minutes ago, he said that you simply came to survive tonight. What is your response to that?
It's tough. You know, I knew if it went the distance, I won, technically. But that wasn't the game plan. When you're fighting a guy like Floyd, you know, the legend, the boxer, kind of relying on him to figure out the game plan and then just playing off his. I think I got him with a good shot in that first round, which kind of threw him off a little bit. And, I mean, yeah, surviving against Floyd Mayweather, like, is great. He's my second opponent. Floyd Mayweather is my second opponent. And so, yeah, I mean, you know, I'm happy. It's good. It was good fun.
Was there a point where he really hurt you in the fight?
No. I never got hurt. He worked the body more than I was used to in sparring. When you got a guy like Floyd who has, you know, been doing this his whole life, he knows every single button, and you know, yeah, he worked the body more than I had been used to. But no, I do neck exercises, like we good. I do sit-ups. Oh, I said that to him, bro. I was whispering in his ear. He hit me in the stomach. I go, bitch, I do sit-ups.
Hi, Logan. This is Samuel Rodriguez of New Stitch Media. I was wondering, Floyd said you look like a great grappler. Would you ever try your luck in MMA?
Yeah, I was grabbing him. Yeah, I'd do MMA for sure, because I am a good grappler. You know, I'm a wrestler at heart, and I think it'd be silly of me not to use it in boxing, you know, to the best of my ability. Sure, yeah.
Logan, congratulations.
Thank you.
People didn't give you a chance.
Not a chance. I made a list of everyone who said I'd lose this fight. I made a list of everyone who said that Floyd was going to dictate exactly how it went, and I'm posting it like you're all fucked. Mike Tyson's on it. I love Mike Tyson, but he's on it. He told me on my own podcast, Floyd's going to beat his fucking ass. That's what he said. Floyd didn't beat my fucking ass, Mike.
You've accomplished so much in life. Where does this rank this moment tonight?
So, yeah, it's the best moment of my life. And it's crazy because I try to be as present as possible, and I try to take it all in and truly gauge how I'm feeling and what this moment is like. And on my podcast, I have super athletes come on and they talk about that what now moment. And I had a mentor here who was close to me, and before the fight, he caught me in the bathroom and he said, as big as this is just another a blip on your radar of life. And you're going to do great, and this is not the greatest thing you'll do. But it is big, you know. Revel the moment, cherish the moment, but you're going to go on to do bigger and better things. And, you know, I'm ready for him right now. Who's next?
Hey, Logan. Back here. So, yeah, they were asking about MMA before. Obviously, you were at WrestleMania, and, you know, you got it awesome. You sold the stunner. It was a lot of fun for yourself, I'm sure. Do you see yourself maybe doing something like that? Because it seems to be, you know, go hand in hand with what you're doing now with the entertainment and all that.
Anytime I can entertain, you know, I'm happy. Whether it's me getting in a boxing ring and risking my life, whether it's me, you know, getting a stunner in the WWE, preparing for a match there, a podcast. Like, I just love entertaining. I just like making people happy, you know, with the stuff that I love doing and what I make and create of myself and of my life, and that's my dream.
Logan, Fred Rojas, iHeartMedia. How did it feel? So you make it to the ring, and then obviously there's a bit of a waiting game between the performances and that Floyd makes his way down the aisle. How was that waiting game of waiting for the biggest fight of your life?
I was waiting to get nervous. I never did. It scares me.
I bet.
Makes me question my humanity. I asked Milton and Jeff, I said, yeah, you know, Floyd's in the ring. I'm like, when am I going to, like, when is that moment going to happen? When am I going to get nervous? When is my heart going to, you know, start beating faster? And it just, like, never did. I got to get checked out, dude.
Hey, Logan.
Hey.
I'm Scotty Schummel from Sports Realm. Is there a specific opponent that you are looking to go at first after this fight, and what would be the timetable for that?
I don't know. You know, I am such an infant in this sport. And regardless of the performance that was put on tonight, you know, this is my third fight against Floyd Mayweather, you know. This is my, like, second and a half, third year in the sport. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, let me get a little good, you know, and then, but sure, yeah, I'll be putting on prize fights. That's the answer. I'm sure there's a list of opponents on Twitter, people chirping, saying this, saying that. I'll pick one, make them fucking get embarrassed. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, and one last question. You just went 8 rounds with arguably the best boxer ever. Like, how are you feeling?
It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, right?
No, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's
good for
fucking
you.
crazy,
It's
dude.
a big deal.
No, it's a huge deal. I can't, like, I don't know what to make of it. I can't comprehend it.
Turn up tonight.
Yeah,
right?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're invited.
Oh,
Come on.
Really? Yeah,
Let's
I'd love
go.
to come. Thank you. I'd love to come.
Let's go. No, it feels great, man. It's surreal. It's
Yeah.
It's incredible, man. You know, yeah. I don't know.
Thank you.
Logan, hi. You know, you said before the fight that you had been in the ring with, you know, a lot of experienced boxers. You know, you've had the amateur fight, then you had the pro fight. How different was it being in the ring with Floyd Mayweather Jr. compared to all the other guys that you've ever sparred with or boxed against?
I mean, this goes without saying, but he's definitely the most skilled fighter that I've ever went against. Any little error I made, he capitalized on, and you know, I felt that immediately. It's an honor. It's an honor, but I can't say I wasn't prepared. He's a little slower than I expected. I imagine his age is finally kicking in a little bit. Father time. Even a specimen like Floyd Mayweather, I imagine he could feel it a little bit. I saw some of his hooks. Yeah.
Logan, Golden TV from Ion, South Florida. 2 questions. What's that around your necklace? What is that? Is that a Pokemon?
This is a Pokemon card. It's a BGS 10 Charizard, first edition Charizard.
Estimated value?
It's one of 3 in the world. It is my prized possession. Ever since I got this graded a 10, the momentum in my life has been crazy. This is my good luck charm. This is my prized possession. Estimated value, I mean, now, shit, this is $1 million card, baby. Like, this is the card that I walked out with to the Floyd Mayweather fight. This is $1 million card. Get the close-up.
Now, speaking of opponents, last question. Would you ever consider fighting your brother?
What? What? Yeah. What?
Jake? Fighting Jake Paul? Yeah. I don't know, bro. We love each other, but we also love putting on big shows. Maybe down the line. Again, give us some time to acclimate in this sport a little bit. I think because we had done so well on YouTube and in other verticals, people hold us to this top tier standard, which we're happy to meet and match as best we can. But at the end of the day, we're just getting started. I'm 26 years old. The kid's 24. What happens when I'm 30? Where am I at? Where's he at? Let us get good at this sport. Let us take over a little more. Man, we're just getting started, and then keep putting on big shows, doing the best we can, inspiring people. It's a good life.
Logan over here, back here, to your left. Sorry.
Did I? I don't know. There's no judges.
You wobbled him, bro.
I wobbled him. That was crazy.
The only couple of times he's ever been wobbled is by you, Shane Mosley, Maidana.
Was he wobbled?
He was wobbled.
Was he wobbled?
No.
Let him say he wasn't wobbled. We'll watch the replay. No, we'll watch the replay.
Logan over here.
I don't want any trouble, dude. I don't want any fucking trouble, dude. Leave me out of this, dude. I'm just a boy with a dream.
Logan over here, real quick, back here. So there's a lot of banter online, people saying look, Floyd didn't really try to put you away and he wanted to put on a show and go all 8 rounds. There's a lot of people saying you were just too big and too tough. You were in there, you took his shots. Did it feel like he was trying to put you out or carry you through 8 rounds?
Yeah, you could tell when he turned it on a little bit. I mean, he blessed me with this opportunity, and I'm happy about that. And I don't want to sit here after the fact and talk shit. But I think his age finally came into play. I could see it. He was coming forward. He was putting the pressure on me, and then he started breathing a little heavier around 5 and 6. Stopped coming forward. And I had a second wind. And who knows? It's my fucking second opponent. Give me a break. I don't know, dude. I'm happy. I'm gonna go jump in the water and get drunk.
Logan.
That's how you doing.
Okay. Logan, Michelle Joy Phelps with Behind the Gloves. This is actually for you and Jake because I just spoke with Adrian Broner, and he basically says he knocks both of your asses out. Is that a fight either one of you would take? Adrian Broner.
Is that no? What? No. What? I don't know who you're talking about. Boo. Boo. Yeah, I'm gonna go party, man. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Go get fucked up. Let's go.
Well, there you go. That about sums it up, Jeff Kane. Logan Paul is going to get out of here and go get fucked up and go get drunk and jump in the water. I mean, why not? He did go 8 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. And then Jake Paul's trying to antagonize and say you just beat him and wobbled him and all this. And, to speak to their real infiltration of boxing and their real, how deep they are in the sport and how deep they go, neither one of them knew who Adrian Broner is. And that Adrian Broner's not a household name, but he's a former champion. And these guys have no clue who he is. They're 26 and 24. And, I mean, Logan Paul is actually up there saying this is only my second opponent, this is only my 3rd fight. And, yeah, good Lord, man. I mean, it's hard to even imagine. In the immortal words of Jack Buck, who never meant them to be used at a time like this, I don't believe what I just saw.
What I don't know is who the hell is he talking about holding him, Jake, to this high level? Who the hell is he talking about there? Anyway,
Their fan base. They expect them to be great at everything, I guess.
So. I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. Look, the kid's clearly happy, as he should be. He got a huge payday. He didn't get hurt, and him and his brother get to go out and get fucked up and jump in the water. Just don't drown there, Logan. Don't drown. I don't know what to make of these guys. I mean, they're basically like a glorified Johnny Knoxville. Yeah, they're doing things in boxing, but they're not exactly setting the world on fire with their skill set. It's just all promotion. It's what I get out of them. It's just crazy. Whenever I was looking up Logan Paul, I meant to say this earlier because I don't really know who the hell these guys are that much, and I looked at his just to make sure on his Wikipedia page, and the last line under health it says, when filming a video for his Vine channel in 2007, Paul attempted a stunt which he landed onto a chair and damaged part of his right testicle. And I was like, holy fuck, I'm about to cover this guy? Anyway, that's where I am right now, man. I don't know if I need to go take a shower or what, man. But it is what it is. It is what it is. That's the state of boxing, though. People want to talk about whatever the hell they want to talk about. That's the state of boxing. People don't know a champion, but they know Logan Paul. You know what I mean?
Logan Paul has 23.1 million YouTube subscribers. 23.1 million. And their Impulsive podcast has 3. Jake Paul, on the other hand, has 20.4. So between the two of them, they have what? 43.7 million subscribers.
No crossover. Yeah, but that's assuming that they're not all crossovers,
Well, no, they each get counted once. They get counted for both. It's not like it's not 47 million unique people, but they each the numbers are that high for each of them.
No, okay, yeah. I just wanted to make sure people realize it wasn't like 40. It's probably not. It's probably a lot of the same people. But look, that's still a huge fucking following, right? That's 21 million, and 20 million on the other side, or whatever the numbers that you said. That's crazy numbers. That's absolutely crazy numbers. And apparently that's a ticket. That's a ticket to the big show. That's a ticket to fight in big fights. But look, and Floyd was trying to build it up like, he was in there with a heavyweight and Floyd's manager was trying to build it up. Spare me that shit. That was not BJ Penn going up and fighting Lyoto Machida in a real damn fight when both of them were in their primes. A real lightweight against a real light heavyweight and a real heavyweight at the time. That was a guy, a retired boxer who's in his mid-40s, coming out of retirement to fight a guy who may or may not be able to box. I'm still on the fence about it.
Well, that girl likes it. She's taking a selfie up there. She's feeling good about things.
Yeah, the girls definitely like them for.
If I looked like her, I'd be taking a selfie up there too. Just saying.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, but yeah, look, he's on top of the world, man, and his brother is his brother, right? He's just gonna keep stirring the pot until, and hell, we might see Floyd fight Jake somewhere down the line. They'll be closer in weight. It's just I don't even know. I don't know what to even say about that. I'm so used to covering real fights. I'm so used to covering the toughest, the baddest women and men on the planet. And then this happens, and I just don't even really know how to respond. I'm just kind of like, well, I would have almost rather seen a bar fight because at least they would have hit each other with something.
No, and someone just came up right now in the chat, and I saw it whiz by. It said, "You guys don't know boxing." Like, wait, you're fucking calling this boxing? You're telling us you don't know? We don't know boxing. I mean, it's kind of funny. Just I find it to be ironic.
Well, I don't look. I'm not going to validate that with a response.
Yeah, did you not see the name of the channel, MMA Weekly? But Logan Paul did say he would fight an MMA fight. He said he would. So let's see you do it. Let's see these guys do it. Let's see him get in the cage. Beat a guy in a cage. He's going
to fight. Just watch and see. He'll be in there with Shannon Rich. He'll be in there with Shannon Rich.
Watch. Oh, Shannon, you're gonna diss on Shannon now. Shannon the Cannon.
I mean, I'll say that they're going to call out somebody like that. They're not
somebody like that.
They're not going to. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Shannon's already been on social media saying he'll fight him.
There's going to be a ton of people on social media. I mean, the MMA guys are going to
everyone
cash in, right? it's going to be an easy payday for the MMA guy that gets to fight Logan Paul, unless he, ends up fighting a guy who has no fights or somebody,
CM Punk,
way past their prime. And look, is it going to be sanctioned? Because tonight's fight couldn't be sanctioned for several reasons. And so, is he going to fight a sanctioned fight? And the MMA fight's going to have to be sanctioned.
I don't know if you're hearing, but Scott in Miami's got to pack up, so we got to wrap. Want to thank Scott in Miami. Want to thank everybody for watching tonight. We got a ton of viewers. He's got to pack up and get out. They're shutting everything down, Jeff. So what a great night for some people. Apparently, Floyd Mayweather wanted all of us to know what a great night it was for him. But thank you for being here, man. We appreciate you guys. Every time we do something, you guys show up strong for us. The views are going to be huge on this. I don't know if we're doing it tomorrow or Tuesday, but UFC Fallout will be airing this week. And then we've got the preview show. We're live from right outside the arena on Saturday night. UFC 263, Jeff. Diaz and Edwards, 5 rounds. The co-main. Moreno Figueiredo, 2 for the flyweight strap at 125 pounds. 5 rounds. And 5 rounds for the middleweight title. Another rematch. Adesanya Vettori, too. So we will be breaking those fights down all week long and having a great time doing it, man. Good catching up with you again and fun times, as always.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a Sunday night of some boxings. Now I'm going to go run and get in my UFC rankings because fights actually mattered last night. Tonight, not so much.
Yep. Rosenstrike is back. Jairzinho Rosenstrike is back with a big-time knockout over Augusto Sakai, and Walt Harris loses another one at heavyweight. Marcin Tibura looking good, making a run right now. We have UFC Fallout coming your way either tomorrow or Tuesday. Check back with us. It's a little bit loose with the scheduling sometimes with travel and all that. We're noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, tomorrow or Tuesday with UFC Fallout. Preview is Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern, and then Saturday we're live for the fights. We're right outside the arena all day. All kinds of special programming, all kinds of great things going on the website, on the Instagram, on the Facebook, and right here on the YouTube with MMA Weekly, the most trusted source in news and entertainment in mixed martial arts for almost 20 years, and even some exhibition boxing. For Jeff Kane and our whole entire crew, I'm Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, saying good night. Keep your game tight and your mind right. We are out.
Cue the music.